For the final time in the regular season, hello and welcome to Greenville Flyboys Baseball on the Flyboys Baseball Network. We're at TVA Credit Union Ballpark in Johnson City, Tennessee. It is dark. There is a torrential downpour just north of us, but we're going to try to start this game on schedule as the Flyboys close the regular season here tonight against the Johnson City Doughboys. Thanks so much for joining us on a cloudy, cool, and potentially rainy Wednesday evening in the Appalachian League. Nick Rotocap here with you for the 45th and final time in the regular season. But Greenville gets at least one more game tomorrow in Kingsport, though there is some really bad flooding in Kingsport right now. So we'll have to see if Hunter Wright Stadium is in playing condition. But we've seen some pictures coming out of there already. Hopefully everybody is safe and everybody is okay, because the conditions do not look good. But here in Johnson City, it's dry for now, though if that changes, it'll change very quickly. And because we are in an open-air situation here, the rain often drives right into where we're sitting. So I would have to take everything down quickly if it starts to pour rain. We've got baseball on tap. The Flyboys 25-19 on the season entering tonight. Johnson City 21-24. The Flyboys locked in second place and a date with Kingsport on the road tomorrow evening. Johnson City in fourth place out of 5 teams in the West Division. The Flyboys are managed by Jack Wilson. Reed Hare in right field leading off tonight. Peyton Miller at second base, batting second for Greenville. Ezra McNaughton at first base, batting third. Cameron Kim is at shortstop, and he's the cleanup hitter. Danny Wallace, the designated hitter, bats fifth. Jace Patton is at third base, batting sixth. Micah Jordan in center field in the number 7 spot. Grant Hunter in left field, batting eighth. And batting ninth for the Flyboys is the catcher, Nicky Satterley. The Johnson City Doughboys, managed by Dave Anderson. They're closing their season here tonight. Dane Morrow is the shortstop, and he leads off. Logan Fife at second base, batting second, the Flyboys' Achilles heel. Nate Connor in center field, batting third. Trey Majette, the switch-hitting right fielder, bats cleanup. Brandon Chang, the designated hitter, bats fifth. Camden Kaufman at third base, he bats sixth. Jackson Jones is at first base, batting seventh. Ryan Jones is the catcher, batting eighth. Landon Smelser in left field, batting ninth for Johnson City. The pitching matchup, much like yesterday, we've got a pair of guys making their first starts of the season. Johnson City, in its final game of the season, turns to Zach Neville, a right-hander out of Miami of Ohio, plays his college ball for the Redhawks. This is his 5th appearance of the season for the Doughboys, his first start of the campaign. In 5 innings, he's allowed 7 earned runs on 6 hits, walked 10, and struck out 7. The Flyboys call upon Jackson Krakonis. Krakonis, a right-hander out of Tallahassee State Junior College in Florida. Krakonis making his 5th appearance of the season. 3 1/3 innings, 4 earned runs on 4 hits, 4 walks, and 1 strikeout for Krakonis. Wilson and Anderson, the 2 managers, exchanging their lineup cards at home plate. There is a breeze blowing through the seating area, and generally that's a bad sign. The wind is swirling here in Johnson City. Earlier it was blowing straight in from center field. It's now blowing across the outfield left to right. So that means that we might see some inclement weather here. And the Flyboys were driving into Johnson City a few hours ago. There was some flash flooding on the roads. And again, we've seen pictures coming out of Bristol and Kingsport just north of here in Johnson City. And the weather looks very bad. Flash flooding, cars stuck in the streets, and we're hoping that everybody's okay. I don't know how much of this game we're going to be able to play if the thunderstorms were to hit. The game is official after 5 innings, but this game does not have any bearing on postseason play for either team. The standings more or less set in stone. So I don't know how that will impact the umpire's decision-making. But we will update with any information as it becomes available. Just do bear in mind that because, again, we are outside. The visiting broadcaster here in Johnson City sits outside. So if it starts raining and the water starts blowing into the seating area, I'm going to have to very quickly either cover things up with a towel or probably just take everything down. So if I suddenly disappear, that is why. But we are just minutes away from first pitch, so we'll take a break and be back with the Flyboys and the Johnson City Doughboys for the final game of the regular season here in the Appy League. You're listening to Greenville Flyboys Baseball on the Flyboys Baseball Network. We are getting set for first pitch here in Johnson City, but you may have heard it on the microphone, the crowd microphone, that is. There was a pair, or I should say there were a pair. Subject verb agreement is important. There were a pair of lightning strikes beyond the left field corner, sheet lightning, and there was thunder to accompany it not too long after. But at this point in the Appy League season, it is up to the umpire's discretion as to when the game is delayed, if it's delayed at all. So for now, we are going to try to start this thing. Although, again, with the inclement weather in the area, that's already put a beat down on Bristol and Kingsport. Hopefully everybody's okay up there. I don't know. That's what I will say. Welcome inside TVA Credit Union Ballpark on the final day of the regular season in the Appy League as the Greenville Flyboys visit the Johnson City Doughboys in what is hopefully, for Greenville, the first of 2 trips here to Johnson City this week. Because if the Flyboys were to return on Friday, it would mean that they have made it to the Appy League championship game, which will be played here no matter what, whether Kingsport or the Flyboys win in tomorrow's semifinal game. Johnson City goes with Miami of Ohio's Zach Neville on the mound. It'll be his first start of the season, his 5th appearance overall. The right-handed Red Hawk out of Ohio. Neville will face a Flyboys offense that has been swinging it better than anyone on the road this season. Greenville scoring over 7 runs per game, which puts the Flyboys in the upper half of the Appy League. The Flyboys have been fantastic away from Pioneer Park, 14-8 in their first 22 road games. Greenville with an OPS of .848 on the road, which is the best in the league. It'll be Reed Hare, followed by Peyton Miller and Ezra McNaughton as we get set to begin the top of the first inning. Neville's got a couple more warm-up tosses left. The big man to watch tonight is Ezra McNaughton. He enters this game with 12 home runs. He tied the Appy League single-season record yesterday. McNaughton with a couple of homers here in Johnson City this season. If he gets number 13, he will stand alone as the Appy League single-season record holder. The right-hander Neville is ready. Reed Hare stepping to the plate. As usual for Jack Wilson and company, Hare and McNaughton, the 2 lefties, hitting first and third in the Flyboys lineup respectively. And it would be somewhat of a full-circle moment if the Flyboys can get back here and win the Appy League championship game on Friday, because this is where Jack Wilson began his playing career in rookie ball with the Johnson City Cardinals. The right-hander Neville is set. Hare in the lefty box. The first pitch outside. We're underway at 7:02. Reed Hare back in the starting lineup for the 2nd consecutive game. He was absent for about a week. And the 1-0 pitch off the low outside edge. It's 2-0 on Reed Hare. Hare on the season and hitting .283, the OPS over .860. A very offense-friendly league here in the Southeast. The 2-0 pitch to Hare misses low and outside. That's ball 3. The league average OPS this season in the Appalachian League, .770, which points to hitters having a very good time at the plate. Pitchers have struggled throughout the league this season. 3-0 on Hare. The pitch, low and in, a 4-pitch leadoff walk issued by Zach Neville. That's something that Johnson City struggled remarkably with yesterday. The Flyboys walked 17 times at the plate, which is one off their season high. They were walked 18 times by Burlington a couple weekends back. That was a somewhat puzzling performance because that is not Burlington's MO at all. Man at first, nobody away in the top of inning number 1. Peyton Miller in the righty box. Here's the pitch. Miller takes a strike at the knees. The first strike in 5 pitches for Zach Neville. But Johnson City walks more batters than any other team in the Appy League. The Doughboys have walked 312 batters in 45 games. That's a walks per 9 of 7.7. A pickoff move to first. Hare is in without a tag. Defensive alignment for the Doughboys here tonight. Ryan Jones is the catcher. Camden Kaufman, Dane Morrow, the dangerous Logan Fife, and Jackson Jones around the horn. As Neville sets at the belt, here's the 0-1. Miller takes outside. Landon Smelser, Nate Connor, and Trey Majette in the outfield left to right in game number 46 of 46 for the Doughboys. It's a 48-game regular season, at least on paper in the Appy League, but rain pelting this part of the country over the last 2 months. So a couple games washed out. Another pickoff throw to first. Jones has to lean to his left to get it. Hare dives in safely. Mentioned the game time conditions here in Johnson City. Gray skies, it's very dark. Thunderstorms to the north of us. Temperature of 80 degrees. A pause. The runner goes. 1-1 pitch, hit on the ground up the middle, off Fife's glove into right center field. Hare headed to third base. He gets a stop sign. Miller sprinting to second. The throw there is in time. Miller thinks he's safe, as Peyton Miller tried to stretch that into a Little League double. It was a good hit and run. It deflected off the glove of Logan Fife as he was ranging towards second in an attempt to field what would have been a throw from the catcher Ryan Jones. But Miller moves Hare to third base on what will probably be scored a single and a fielder's choice. Score at 9-6-4 as Miller is gone. Now here's Ezra McNaughton, as I think some rain maybe has started to fall. It's hard to tell. McNaughton in the lefty box, the pitch. Fouled away toward the third base side. And right before McNaughton stepped in, you could see a lightning strike beyond left field. It's up to the umpire's discretion to determine when to stop the game. Right on left, Neville in some early trouble. Man at third, one gone. Scoreless in the first. Here's the pitch. McNaughton hits a soft liner to left. Smelser coming on, makes the catch. Hare's going to tag. Here's the throw to the plate. It is way late. And Ezra McNaughton delivers a sacrifice fly. Extends his team lead with his 44th RBI of the season. And it's 1-0 Greenville in the top of the first. So bases empty, 2 gone. Flyboys leading 1-0 in the top of inning number 1. And the Flyboys cleanup hitter, Cameron Kim, digs in. Cam committed to Cal State Fullerton. Cameron Kim is, I should say. Right on right. Neville from the stretch. Kim takes a slider low and outside. And the thing that I'm going to be candid for a second. The thing that I absolutely loathe about Johnson City is that they stick the visiting broadcaster right with the fans. That is by far what makes this place tough to call games in. Kim, with a line drive to left and a 2-out single, he continues to swing a hot bat. But Johnson City fans arriving late means that my sight line gets obstructed, and it's very difficult to focus on the task at hand. So I am hoping that the West Division representatives get home preference and that I get to take the press box if the Flyboys make it back here on Friday. Man at first, 2 gone on the top of inning number 1. Flyboys leading Johnson City 1-0 on the sacrifice fly from Ezra McNaughton. And here's the designated hitter, Danny Wallace. A pickoff move to first, no tag from Jackson Jones. And we were talking about the flooding in Kingsport. That game, Kingsport and Tri-State, will not be played. The pitch to Wallace on the low outside corner. Fastball for strike 1. Danny Wallace had a good night yesterday. Picked up a couple RBIs. A single and a double for him. 3 RBIs, I should say, on a couple of knocks. Here's the 0-1. Wallace fouls it back to the screen. It's 0-2. The Flyboys have played Johnson City very well offensively. Both of these teams, no shortage of runs. The Flyboys winning yesterday 12-7. As Neville comes set at the belt. Here's the 0-2. Wallace strikes out swinging on a breaking ball, and that's the inning. Flyboys strike first on a sacrifice fly from Ezra McNaughton. After a half, Greenville 0. Johnson City coming to bat in the final game of the regular season on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Bottom of inning number 1 in the regular season finale between the Greenville Flyboys and the Johnson City Doughboys here at TVA Credit Union Ballpark. Flyboys leading 1-0 after Ezra McNaughton delivered a sacrifice fly. Starter Jackson Krakonis has a little bit of early breathing room. He'll face Dane Morrow to begin things in the bottom of the first. First pitch fastball misses high to the left-handed batter Morrow. Johnson City packed the middle of its order with left-handed bats yesterday. Top heavy this evening. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Morrow hits a roller up along first and foul. Dane Morrow, Nate Connor, and Trey Majette, 1, 3, and 4 will all dig in the lefty box. There's some more sheet lightning beyond the outfield wall. But Jackson Krakonis, the Tallahassee State Junior College product, making his first start of the season. And the 1-1 to Morrow. Breaking ball in there on the outside part of the plate. It's 1-2. Krakonis has appeared in 4 games for the Flyboys this season. 4 runs and 3 1/3 on the hill. And the 1-2 pitch from Krakonis to Morrow. Morrow takes outside. Dane Morrow took an 0 for 4 yesterday. It was a puzzling game for Johnson City on both sides of the ball. The Doughboys did well for themselves, 7 runs on 11 hits, as the 2-2 is on the way. Morrow strikes out swinging on a breaking ball. Good start for Jackson Krakonis. Base is empty, leadoff man gone at the bottom of inning number 1. Flyboys leading 1-0. And the batter is the second baseman, Logan Fife. Johnson City pitchers walked 17 Flyboys batters yesterday. Greenville won that game 12-7, despite being out-hit 11-5. Logan Fife had an RBI, continuing to hit well against Greenville this season. Right on right, here's the pitch from Krakonis. Fife takes low and outside. Logan Fife entered yesterday, hitting over 500 against the Flyboys in 5 games this season. He now has 14 hits in 6 games. 1-0 is popped up behind the plate on the first base side. That ball is out of play. Logan Fife with 9 RBIs in those 6 games against Greenville. He has been absolutely unbelievable. An OPS near 1,200. And I'm certain the Flyboys are glad they don't have to face him in the postseason. 1-1. And Krakonis winds and deals. Fife takes a head-high fastball inside. Nicky Satterley getting his 3rd start behind the plate for Greenville, a late season add as the number 3 catcher. He had been the bullpen backstop for most of the campaign. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Krakonis. Fife takes up and away. Jace Patton, Cameron Kim, Peyton Miller, and Ezra McNaughton 3rd to 1st for the visitors in this one. Grant Hunter, Micah Jordan, and Reed Hare left to right in the outfield. 3-1 on the dangerous Logan Fife. Here's the pitch. A high fastball popped up behind second base. Cameron Kim, the shortstop, makes the call and the catch. Just shy of the outfield grass, and Fife pops out. And Rocky the Bat Dog out for one final time in the regular season. The Black Lab that does the bat boy duties for the Doughboys always gets a nice round of applause. First 2 men gone. Flyboys leading 1-0 in the bottom of the first, and the batter is Nate Connor. Right on left, here's the pitch from Krakonis. Connor checks his swing on a breaking ball. It's downstairs. Nate Connor swung it well yesterday, 3 for 4 with a couple runs scored. He and Trey Majette, as well as Brandon Chang, a really formidable middle of the order for Johnson City here tonight. Chang hitting .325 on the season. Here's the 1-0. Or excuse me, Connor hitting .325, I should say. Krakonis misses inside. 2-0 on Nate Connor, playing for his hometown summer ball team. Johnson City through and through. He plays at East Tennessee State, right here in Johnson City. On campus, maybe 10 minutes from here, TVA Credit Union Ballpark. The 1-1. Connor takes outside and low. Krakonis missing with the changeup. The weather is something to keep an eye on throughout the night. This is a turf field. still definitely a threat. Here's the 2-1 to Connor. Swung on, hit in the air to straightaway left, sending Grant Hunter back on the warning track. He's got enough room, and he makes the catch to end the inning. A 1-2-3 first inning for Jackson Krakonis. As we go to the second, Flyboys lead Johnson City 1-0 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Top of the second here in Johnson City. Flyboys leading the Doughboys 1-0 after a sacrifice fly from Ezra McNaughton. It'll be Jace Patton, Micah Jordan, and Grant Hunter due up here in the second against Johnson City starter Zach Neville. Flyboys sending 6, 7, and 8 to the plate on this overcast, cool Wednesday evening. Patton stepping in the righty box. Neville always goes from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Patton takes a fastball for a strike. Jace Patton spent a brief moment at the top of the Flyboys order, did well for himself. But yesterday he went 1 for 6 with 3 strikeouts. The 0-1. A breaking ball finds the top of the zone. It's 0-2. So Patton moved back to the middle of the order. He's been one of the most consistent bats for the Flyboys this season. Playing in nearly every game, hitting .303, an OPS of .904. One of the best on the team. 0-2. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball floats outside. Talk about team leaders in OPS. Of course, Ezra McNaughton is there at the top. 1171, which is among the top 3 in the league. 1-2. Patton takes outside again. Brock Thompson second on the list, though he's not qualified. Thompson played just 7 games during his second stint in Greenville. Patton rounds out the podium in third. The 2-2 fouled off over the first base dugout. Cameron Kim also flirting with 900. He's at 896. So 2-2 on Patton. Hit a couple home runs in Elizabethton in that doubleheader. Here's the pitch. Patton takes a breaking ball in the dirt, and he's run the count full after falling behind 0-2. Something the Flyboys did well yesterday. Greenville worked a lot of walks, as it looks like some fans are breaking out umbrellas. It may have started to rain. 3-2. Here's the pitch. Patton takes low and outside. The second consecutive leadoff walk issued by Zach Neville. Patton aboard. Flyboys leading 1-0. Nobody away in the second. And the batter is Micah Jordan. It's also one of the perks of being right by a major street is that you get all the sounds of a big city, something that has been missing being in Greenville the last couple months. Having grown up in Indianapolis, I'm very used to it. Jordan in the righty box. Here's the pitch. Jordan takes low and outside. Micah Jordan entered the home finale yesterday as a pinch hitter. Was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. 17 walks and a couple hit by pitches issued by Johnson City Arms yesterday. They're looking for something a little better today. Here's the 1-0 from Neville. Low and outside again. And that's something we also saw a lot of. Johnson City pitchers, all of them right-handed, missing consistently to their glove sides, which can sometimes point to a mechanical issue, but the fans have brought out umbrellas. It rained, I think, for a moment. Looks like it's still falling. Pickoff throw to first. Patton's in safely. It looks like a light rain right now, looking at the floodlights. But with this turf playing surface, base runners will have to be mindful because when that turf gets wet, you got to start sliding much further back than you're used to. 2-0 on Jordan. And another pickoff throw to first. No tag from Jackson Jones as Patton dives back in. The Flyboys can take the league lead in stolen bases here tonight. Tri-State and Kingsport getting washed out. The 2-0 to Jordan. Crushed to straightaway left, sending Smeltzer back, and that ball is gone. A line drive, 2-run homer for Micah Jordan. That's the second time he's homered here in Johnson City. And Greenville has opened up a 3-0 lead here in the top of the second. That's one thing you can't do to Micah Jordan is throw him an elevated fastball in the inside part of the plate. Zach Neville just found that out the hard way. Jordan with his 4th homer of the season. RBIs numbers 24 and 25 for the second-year flyboy out of Virginia Tech. And that was a cookie, 86 miles an hour right down the middle. Jordan sent it out of here at 104 mph, 363 feet to straightaway left. Grant Hunter takes a 58-foot fastball for ball 1. But Micah Jordan loves hitting here in Johnson City. The Flyboys as a team do really well here. 1-0 to Hunter, nearly hits him in the shoulder. He spins out of the way. Ezra McNaughton's homered a couple times here. Micah Jordan has homered a couple times. Tyler Inge hit his first homer of the season here. The 2-0. Hunter takes a slider for a strike on the outside part of the plate. But for Greenville, that is the 34th home run of the season. Kingsport leads the league with 35. 2-1 to Hunter, hit in the air to shallow right center. Nate Connor coming on. This ball is trouble. It's down in the middle of 3 Johnson City defenders. That ball found the Bermuda Triangle between the second baseman Logan Fife, Connor in center field, and Trey Majette in right. 3 men there, but nobody could get to it before it fell. So 3 straight base runners for the Flyboys to start the top of the second. And Dave Anderson's going to go out to get the ball from Zach Neville. He goes an inning plus 3 batters in his first and last start of the season. The Doughboys bringing a right-hander out of the bullpen. Flyboys leading 3-0 in the second when we come back on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Flyboys lead Johnson City 3-0 here. 3 straight base runners to start the second. And Johnson City manager Dave Anderson calls upon Stephen Swee, right-hander out of Monmouth University in New Jersey. Man at first, nobody out. Zach Neville exits after facing 8 batters and allowing 6 of them to reach safely. Nicky Satterley, the Flyboys catcher, steps in. The pitch from Swee. Satterley takes downstairs. In this inning for the Flyboys, a walk, a 2-run homer from Micah Jordan, and a bloop single to right center from Grant Hunter. Flyboys now leading 3-0. And we're still early in this one. The 1-0 to Satterley, way high and outside. Stephen Swee, a native of Mahopac, New York. 2 seasons at Monmouth, pitched in 16 games there, an ERA over 11. Here in Johnson City, he's on for the 14th and final time, an ERA of 6.2 in 17 1/3 innings pitched. The 2-0 to Satterley, poked foul behind home plate. Satterley out of Tusculum, where the Flyboys play their home games. Added to the roster late in the season with Lane Akers departing. But Akers made some history. When the Flyboys faced Johnson City at the beginning of this month, Akers had a game where he went 6 plate appearances without recording an at-bat. 5 walks and a sacrifice fly. The 2-1 to Satterley. A chopper to the left side, a tough turn. Kaufman cuts it off from third base. Goes to first to get Satterley. Grant Hunter to second on the ground out. Man at second, 1 gone in the top of inning number 2. Flyboys leading Johnson City 3-0. And the batter is Reed Hare, the Greenville leadoff man. Fans continuing to open their umbrellas. A steady rain is falling here at TVA Credit Union Ballpark. And this is an all-turf playing surface, infield and outfield. So field conditions are not necessarily a concern unless the rain really comes down much harder than it is right now. You can see in the floodlights a steady rain. Hare in, here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses low and in. And this is something that the Flyboys and the Doughboys are very well versed in. They played a 5-hour game at this ballpark nearly a month ago now. Reed Hare was due up in the 8th inning when a rain delay hit with the bases loaded and nobody out. The 1-0 to Hare, inside, he spins out of the way. That rain delay lasted 45 minutes. And after the Flyboys came back out of the clubhouse, they took care of business, rallying, winning the game 16-12. 2-0 on Hare, man at second. And the pitch from Swee. Fastball right there for a strike. That capped off a 2-game sweep. The Flyboys beating Johnson City on back-to-back nights, 19-1 and 16-12. These teams average nearly 20 runs per game when they face each other. The 2-1 to Reed Hare. Fouled off toward third base. This ball is out of play. The thing I always thought was problematic when playing in the rain, albeit at a much lower level than this, is as a pitcher, making sure that you actually have good feel of the baseball in your hands. It's easier said than done, especially when you're trying to spin it, because the release point can get messed up. 2-2 on Reed Hare. Swee sets at the belt, and the pitch. Slider hit on the ground to shortstop. Dane Morrow fields on a couple high hops. Throw to first is in time. Hare is gone. Grant Hunter moves up to third. So a 2-out RBI opportunity for Peyton Miller. Flyboys leading 3-0. Man at third with 2 gone in the second. A sac fly from Ezra McNaughton. And a 2-run homer from Micah Jordan. Jordan's 4th of the season. And a chance for Peyton Miller to add some more. Miller singled in the first inning, was cut down trying to stretch it into a double. Here's the pitch. Miller takes a breaking ball at the knees for a strike. One of many Thousand Oaks High School alumni on this Flyboys team. Also among them, Dylan Jackson and Brady Francisco. There's a lightning strike beyond left field. Here's the 0-1. Miller takes a breaking ball low and away. It's sheet lightning, and judging by the lack of thunder in the immediate following seconds, the storm is far enough away to where we're good to continue this game for now. It's a question of how long it lasts. 1-1 pitch. Miller chases a high outside fastball. It's 1-2. This game will be official after 5 innings, as Miller steps out before the 1-2 pitch. Johnson City packing this ballpark well. The Doughboys always do. They'll lead the league in attendance, and it won't even be close. The Doughboys over 74,000 for the season. 1-2. Miller chops it foul toward third. The Flyboys in second in attendance at 52,000. So Johnson City running circles around everyone. And I'm thinking now I should have brought my umbrella. I have one in my car, but my car is about 40 miles away from here. I don't know that I'll be able to get there and back in time. Miller looking for a 2-out RBI. 1-2. And Swee delivers. A looper toward left. Smelser charging, has a beat on it, and makes the catch to end the inning. Flyboys add 2 more on the homer from Micah Jordan after an inning and a half. Greenville 3, Johnson City nothing in the regular season finale on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Bottom of the second here in Johnson City. The Flyboys out to an early 3-0 lead. A sac fly from Ezra McNaughton, his team best 44th RBI of the season. Micah Jordan with a 2-run homer, a line drive to straightaway left. Jackson Krakonis retired the side in order to begin his first start in a Flyboys uniform, and he will face 2 very capable hitters to begin this second inning. Trey Majette, Brandon Chang, and Camden Kaufman, 4, 5, and 6 in the Doughboys order, due up here. Trey Majette, the switch-hitting outfielder, had a 2-run single yesterday. Raised his average to 356. Switch hitter batting left here against Krakonis. The pitch. Backdoor slider finds the top of the zone for strike 1. Majette with a team best on-base plus slugging of .957. He's had a phenomenal season for the Doughboys. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Majette takes outside. The rain continuing to fall, a steady rain. Some flashes of sheet lightning beyond left center field. The wind now blowing straight out here in Johnson City. Krakonis winds, the 1-1 pitch. Majette pops it up behind home plate and out of play. The dimensions here in Johnson City, you would think it would be more of a pitcher's park, but it's not. 330 to the left field corner, 400 feet to straightaway center, and 315 to right. The outfield wall is about 20 feet high. Krakonis looking for his second strikeout. Here's the 1-2. Slider misses away. Tried that backdoor breaker again. But 2 teams playing their home games here in Johnson City The Doughboys and the Bristol State Liners tied for the worst ERA in the league at home. 2-2. Majette hits a fly ball towards shallow center field. Cameron Kim going out. Micah Jordan calls him off coming in from center field, and he makes the catch to retire Trey Majette. Rocky the Bat Dog in action for the final time this season. Always gets a nice ovation. Leadoff man gone. Flyboys leading 3-0 in the second. And the batter is the Johnson City designated hitter, Brandon Chang. An open stance in the right-handed box. Facing Perconis. Here's the pitch. Chang takes a slider upstairs. Johnson City and Bristol tied with an ERA of 7.3 this season. Here's the 1-0. Chang pops it up toward first base and foul. This ball fades out of play. It's not like the runs have been hard to come by for Johnson City at the plate. The Doughboys among the league leaders in runs per game. Johnson City leading the league in runs allowed per game, though, and that's really the biggest problem. When you're scoring 7 runs per game, but you're allowing 7.5, well, you end up at about 500. Here's the 1-1. Chang fouls it off again. It's 1-2. Now, Kingsport is running circles around everybody offensively. The Axemen finished the regular season with the runs per game averaging 8.5. No other team is over 7.8. A very offense-friendly league this season. Perconis ahead 1-2. Here's the pitch. Chang strikes out swinging on a good slider from Perconis. Second strikeout for the righty. Both of them on that breaking ball. Flyboys up 3-0. Base is empty, 2 gone in the home half of the second. And here's Camden Kaufman, the third baseman. Camden Kaufman stepping in. He got the night off yesterday. Hitting .242. No home runs, 22 RBIs this season. Perconis looking for a 1-2-3 second. Here's the pitch. Kaufman hits a high drive to straightaway left. Hunter is back. He's out of room, and that ball is gone. Camden Kaufman waited till the last day of the regular season to do it, but he's got his first homer. 3-1 Flyboys here in the second. Mentioned that this place is a hitter's park. Already a pair of homers in this game, and Perconis made a mistake there. Left it 86-mile-an-hour fastball right over the heart of the plate. And you can't make that mistake to anybody. So a 2-out homer. Flyboys lead shrinks to 2 here in the bottom of the second. And the batter is Jackson Jones. Jones, another right-handed batter. Here's the pitch. He takes a slider downstairs from Perconis. And that's the second homer that Jackson Perconis has allowed in 5 full innings this season. 1-0, the right-hander takes a deep breath as the rain intensifies. Jones hits a high drive to left. Hunter going back again, and this ball is off the top of the wall. There will be a play at second. Here's the throw from the warning track. It sails past everybody. And a 2-out double for Jackson Jones. Tying run coming to the plate in the form of Ryan Jones, the catcher. 3-1 Flyboys. Man at second for Ryan Jones. Jackson Jones sent that one off the top of the wall in left center. It hit about 2 feet shy of being the second consecutive homer by a Johnson City batter, with 2 gone here in the second. The bottom part of the order doing some damage against Perconis. Another right-handed batter, Ryan Jones, steps in. Here's the pitch. Slider misses low and away. And if you look at where these pitches have been, an elevated fastball, and then that double was a hanging slider. As this rain continues to fall, command is going to be tough for everybody. 1-0 on Ryan Jones. Man at second, here's the pitch. A slider in the dirt, blocked by Satterley. Feels like the rain is definitely falling harder now than it was even a half inning or two ago. Looking at the floodlights, the water bouncing off of them, some of them upward-facing lights closer to the ground. You can hear it falling on the bleachers as well. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses up and away from Jackson Kirkonis. I'd imagine this is a situation where the Flyboys will probably lobby for the game to be called after 5 innings. They want to make sure nobody gets hurt going into the playoffs tomorrow. 3-0, here's the pitch. Jones takes a fastball low and outside. 3 consecutive base runners with 2 outs here for Johnson City. A home run, a double, and now a walk. So Satterley, the catcher, and Jace Patton, the third baseman, and now the Flyboys pitching coach, Jared Morton, all converging on the mound. 3-1, Greenville leading. Already a pair of home runs in this game. A 2-run shot by Micah Jordan in the top of this second inning, and a solo shot from Camden Kaufman to get Johnson City on the board. But this game will be official after 5 innings. So if the rain continues, which as of right now it looks like it will through at least 9 o'clock, you're talking about a situation where the Flyboys will certainly lobby for this game to be called. So they've got to face Kingsport, the league's best all-around team, in less than 24 hours. Now, with the flash flooding in Kingsport washing out the game against Tri-State, there might be a chance that that game gets moved to Pioneer Park. Kingsport would still be the designated home team, given that the Axemen are the #1 seed. That'll be something to keep an eye out for late tonight or tomorrow. So now the number 9 hitter, Landon Smelser, steps in. A left-handed batter facing Kirkonis. First and second, 2 gone in the second. Flyboys lead 3-1. A spin and a throw back to second base. Jones dives in without a tag from Jace Patton. Smelser, another lefty bat. Kirkonis steps off and couldn't tell exactly why there. I think there was a baseball that trickled out of the bullpen. It looks like, I think Christian Bonilla came sprinting out of the dugout there, telling Kirkonis to step off. So 0-0 on Smeltzer after the pickoff move. And now the first pitch. Breaking ball misses high. It's gotten cooler since first pitch. Game time temperature was 80 degrees, but there's a breeze blowing out to center. It definitely feels colder than 80 degrees right now. Kirkonis looking to work out of trouble. Here's the pitch. Smelser takes high again. That's one thing that Kirkonis has struggled with here as the precipitation continues to be a factor. It seems like everything is high, which tells you he's not finding the release point as well as he would like. Probably attribute that to the ball being slippery. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Smelser takes a fastball low and in. And again, this is something that will impact both sides. It's not like it's exclusive to the Flyboys or anything of that nature. And with this crowd here in Johnson City, the Doughboys will certainly want to get as much of this game in as they can. But at a certain point, I think it becomes about player safety more than anything else. The 3-0 to Smeltzer downstairs, and that loads the bases for the top of the order. This is trouble. Jackson Kirkonis retired 5 in a row to start the game. And then with 2 outs in the second, a solo homer, a double off the wall, and back-to-back walks. Bases loaded, 2 gone for the leadoff man, Dane Morrow. 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts in the series. Morrow steps in the lefty box. Kirkonis will go from the windup here. Here's the pitch. Morrow takes inside, shuffling out of the way of a low fastball. Flyboys leading 3-1. That lead very much in jeopardy. With 2 men gone, everybody moves on contact. The dangerous Logan Fife waiting on deck. Kirkonis now from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses high and outside. And you could really tell on that one that it popped out of his hand early. It's already made a couple mistake pitches at the top of the zone. With this rain continuing to fall, nobody's jealous of him being in this spot. The 2-0. Morrow takes outside. Flyboys getting a taste of their own medicine potentially. Greenville trailed 2-0 in the second inning yesterday. Took the lead 3-2 entirely on bases loaded walks. 3-0 on Morrow. Nowhere to put him. Here's the pitch. Swinging a line drive to second, caught by Peyton Miller, and that ends the inning. Johnson City leaves them loaded as Krakonis gets out of 2-out trouble. The Doughboys on the board with a solo homer, the first of the year from Camden Kaufman. As we go to the third, 3-1 Greenville on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Top of the third here in Johnson City. The Flyboys leading the Doughboys 3-1. Already 2 home runs in this game. Micah Jordan's 2-run homer in the second is the difference. Johnson City responded last inning with a solo homer from Camden Kaufman. Dane Morrow lined out with the bases loaded, and now the Flyboys will look to get a little bit more comfortable in the score column. It'll be Ezra McNaughton, Cameron Kim, and Danny Wallace. 3-4-5 in the Flyboys' potent lineup. Due up facing Stephen Swee. The right-hander came on with nobody away in the first and retired 3 men in order to strand a Flyboys runner at third base. Right on left as McNaughton steps in. The pitch from Swee. Breaking ball misses low and away. Ezra McNaughton got the Flyboys on the board with a sacrifice fly in the first. If he homers here tonight, he will break the single-season home run record in the Appy League. The 1-0. McNaughton takes inside. McNaughton snapped a 13-day home run drought, which, believe it or not, is the longest he has gone without hitting a home run this season. But he homered yesterday. Here's the 2-0. Downstairs again from Stephen Swee. That's ball 3. And when a hitter goes 2 weeks without a homer and you call it a drought, it's a testament to how consistent that he's been with the power, which is really hard to do. 3-0. Here's the pitch. McNaughton takes downstairs. A 4-pitch leadoff walk. Stephen Swee wanted nothing to do with Ezra McNaughton. Cameron Kim steps in. Leadoff man aboard. Flyboys up 3-1 in the top of the third. Kim, the Flyboys cleanup man, had a 2-out single in the first. The book is closed on Zach Neville, the Johnson City starter. An inning plus 3 batters, 3 runs on 4 hits, 2 walks and a strikeout. Kim steps in the righty box. Here's the pitch. Swing and a smash to deep left field. This ball is gone by plenty. Cameron Kim has really heated up in the month of July. He blasts a 2-run homer, the second in as many innings for the Flyboys, and it's 5-1 in the third. Home run number 6 for Cameron Kim. RBIs 23 and 24 for the Cal State Fullerton commit. He jumped all over a first pitch fastball right there. 395 feet to straightaway left. Off the bat at 104 miles an hour. Flyboys up 5-1. A walk and a homer to start the third. And here's Danny Wallace. Swee from the stretch. Wallace squares to bunt, gets a good one down the third base line. Kaufman charges, bare hand throw to first is in time. That is a fantastic play by Camden Kaufman at third base. That's a play that Nolan Arenado has earned his living making on a nightly basis. Your chest parallel to the ground, barehanding and throwing to first in one motion. And Wallace, with good speed, he's not an easy out on the base paths at all. But that's a great play by Camden Kaufman. 1 away in the third. Jace Patton stepping in. Patton walked to start the last inning. The pitch from Swee. Patton takes a strike on the low outside corner. But Cameron Kim now with 3 homers in the last week for the Flyboys. Here's the 0-1 from Swee. Patton takes outside and low. Ball deflected off the backstop. It got past Ryan Jones, the catcher. But with the bases empty, no harm there. So Patton back in now. 0-1. Or excuse me, 1-1, I should say. And SWE fires. Patton takes inside. So the Flyboys have now tied Kingsport with their 35th home run of the year. Those teams share the league lead. And they'll go head-to-head tomorrow. Here's the 2-1. Patton with a big swing and a miss on a fastball. Spot in the Appy League Championship on the line when the Flyboys and the Axemen square off in just under 24 hours. SWE looking to bounce back after the homer. The 2-2. Patton fouls it back to the screen. The Flyboys doing a good job taking advantage of the Johnson City walks. The Doughboys have walked 3 batters in 2 1/3. All 3 of those runs have come in to score. Or excuse me, all 3 of those runners have come in to score. 2-2 on Patton. SWE looking for the strikeout. A big lightning strike behind center field, and time is called by the home plate umpire, Will Evans. SWE was nearly into his motion. That was a very pronounced lightning strike beyond center. But the Thunder far enough away to where we're going to continue this one. And there it is. So 2-2 on Patton after the lightning strike. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Patton chased the breaking ball in the dirt. He spikes his bat into the ground. Base is empty, 2 gone in the 3rd. Flyboys leading 5-1 after Cameron Kim's 2-run homer. And here's Micah Jordan. Jordan hit a line drive homer to left. A 2-run shot back in the 2nd. That gave the Flyboys a 3-1 lead. I was talking to Ezra McNaughton after the game yesterday. I asked him, what makes the Flyboys so successful here in Johnson City? As Jordan's in, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. It's 0-1. And McNaughton said, a good batter's eye. And there is no traditional batter's eye here in Johnson City. It's the outfield wall. Dark green, about 20 feet high. And then a pronounced mountain behind center field, covered in trees. The 0-1. Breaking ball at the top of the zone. SWE hung one right there. But it's 0-2. Jordan steps out. But McNaughton said the batter's eye is what gives him so much success here. No official at-bat for Ezra McNaughton. A sacrifice fly and a run scored. He's been productive. 0-2 on Jordan. Here's the pitch from SWE. Breaking ball chased in the dirt. Jordan's gone, and that's the inning. Flyboys add 2 more on Cameron Kim's home run. On to the bottom of the 3rd. Greenville 5, Johnson City 1 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Flyboys leading 5-1 as we begin the home half of the 3rd here in Johnson City. It's the regular season finale. The Flyboys facing off against the Doughboys in the 2nd game of a home-and-home series. Matthew Egan is the new man on the mound. And the first pitch to Logan Fife misses well inside. A right-on-right matchup here. Matthew Egan out of Queens University in Charlotte, on for the 9th time this season. His 4th relief appearance. The 1-0. Fife fouls it off. That was a high and tight fastball. Fife tried to lean out of the way, and in doing so, the ball hit the handle of the bat. So it's 1-1. Egan, in 23 innings, has posted an ERA of 7 flat, 18 earned on 31 hits, 11 walks and 26 strikeouts. He's around the zone. 1-1 on Fife, and the pitch. A swing and a miss on a breaking ball in the dirt. Haven't seen Logan Fife get fooled by Flyboys pitchers very much this season. His batting average just over 500 in 6 games against Greenville. 1-2. Here's the pitch from Egan. Fife takes a breaking ball in the dirt. The rain has intensified here in Johnson City. This all-turf playing surface, handling the water well, but still very unpleasant, especially for the pitchers on both sides. Egan looking to retire Fife. Here's the 2-2. Fife pops it up, shallow center field. Micah Jordan sprinting in, Peyton Miller going out, and the Flyboys second baseman makes a 2-handed catch. Logan Fife has popped out both times tonight. Flyboys leading 5-1. Leadoff man gone in the home half of the third. And the batter is the center fielder, Nate Connor. Another left-handed batter for Johnson City. 3 home runs in this game, 1 for Johnson City and a pair of 2-run shots for the Flyboys. Nate Connor, 3 for 4 yesterday. He flew out to left field his first time. The pitch. A breaking ball in there for a strike. A good slider from Matthew Egan. Oh, and 1. Here's the pitch to Nate Connor. A swing and a miss. He went fishing in the dirt. It's 0-2. Egan keeping these Johnson City hitters off balance so far. Shows you how confident he is in that slider, that he's throwing it in these rainy conditions. It's not always a given by any means. 2 quick strikes on Connor. The right-hander looking for the strikeout. Shakes off a couple signs from Nicky Satterley. Now he's ready, and he steps off. Connor hitting over .320 on the season. .325 entering play tonight. Here's the 0-2. He takes low and outside. Egan tried the fastball there. This rain intensifying now. It seems like it's been on an upward trajectory since first pitch. 1-2 to Connor, misses up and away. Breaking ball popped out of Egan's hand there. I don't know if the umpires are going to try to play through this all the way, or they'll try to get to 5 innings and reassess. Here's the 2-2. Connor takes low and inside. He's worked it back from 0-2 to 3-2. Egan not really tempting the strike zone with any of his misses so far. 3-2 on Connor. Here's the payoff. A tapper towards second base. Peyton Miller is up with it. The throw to first in time by a step, and Connor's gone. He thought he was safe. Connor made the motion with his arms, but Trey Neville, the field umpire, said otherwise. Base is empty, 2 gone in the bottom of the third. Flyboys leading Johnson City 5-1 in the regular season finale. And here's the switch hitting right fielder, Trey Majette. He'll dig in from the left side against Egan. And the right-hander fires. Breaking ball misses high. Trey Majette flew out to Micah Jordan in shallow center his first time. But Majette had a 2-run single yesterday against the Flyboys. Here's the 1-0. Majette hits a pop fly towards shallow left center this time. Grant Hunter calls everybody off, and the Flyboys left fielder makes the catch to retire the side. A 1-2-3 inning for Matthew Egan, and after 3 in the regular season finale, Flyboys lead the Doughboys 5-1 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Top of the 4th inning here in Johnson City as the Flyboys close the regular season against the Doughboys. Greenville leading this game 5-1, a pair of 2-run homers, one in the 3rd inning from Cameron Kim, and Micah Jordan's 2-run homer in the 2nd is the difference in this game. New right-hander on the hill for the Doughboys is Vladil Baldapina. Baldapina out of Miramar, Florida, committed to, whoa, that was a massive lightning strike beyond left field. That is the biggest lightning strike we've seen in this game. We're going to play through it. Here's Grant Hunter. He'll be followed by Nicky Satterley and Reed Hare. 8-9-1 in the Flyboys order due up. The pitch. Hunter takes high. There's the thunder. I was waiting for it. Baldapina committed to Chippewa Junior College, where former Flyboys lefty Freddie Baravitas played last season. The 1-0 to Hunter swung on and missed. The Flyboys have scored in every inning so far. A sac fly in the first, and a 2-run homer in each of the last 2 innings. Here's the 1-1. Hunter takes a fastball for a strike from Baldapina, and it's 1-2. Vladdy Baldapina on for the 3rd time this season. 1-2 to Hunter, swing and a miss. He was fooled on a breaking ball. 3 straight strikeouts recorded by Johnson City pitching. The book is closed on Stephen Swee, the right-hander, 2 innings, 2 runs. The lone hit was the homer given up to Cameron Kim. A walk and 2 strikeouts for Stephen Swee. And Nicky Satterley stepping in the righty box now. Baldepina nods and fires. Satterley hits a high drive to deep left field. Smeltzer over near the corner, can't get it. It's off the wall. Nicky Satterley, the Flyboys bullpen catcher, with a 1-out double in the 4th inning. And if you had that one on your bingo card today, I think you're lying. That's Satterley's first hit of the season in either a Flyboys or a Danville Otterbots uniform. Played a game for Danville earlier this year. But Nicky Satterley got his hands inside on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball and hit it off the wall and straightaway left. An RBI opportunity here for Reed Hare. At the top of the order, right on left. And the pitch. Hare takes a fastball outside. Vladil Baldepina in some trouble here as the rain intensifies once again. It's now started to blow in toward the seating area, which might be trouble. 1-0 on Hare. Here it comes. Foul back. Reed Hare, 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored so far. There's now some sun from beyond the left field corner as the storms continue to be a factor. That might be bad news, because usually when sun and thunderstorms mix, the results are not good. Baldepina steps off before the 1-1. See if Reed Hare can hit another one out of here. Be the 3rd 2-run homer in as many innings. The pitch. Breaking ball misses outside from Baldepina. Right-handed reliever on for the 3rd time this season. He's allowed 7 runs in 4 2/3. 6 hits, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts. He's also given up a homer. And Ryan Jones goes out for a word with Baldepina. You can hear the rain falling very hard on the bleachers down the third base foul line. A lot of fans brought umbrellas. And this might again be a situation where we'll get to the 5th inning, and if it's still this bad, there's no reason to continue this game because nothing will change in the postseason race. The Flyboys locked into 2nd. Johnson City eliminated by Elizabethton last week. Now 2-1 on Hare after the mound meeting. A look at 2nd and the pitch. Hare takes a fastball upstairs. It's 3-1. But Reed Hare has had a good season for the Flyboys, hitting .283 with a homer and 32 RBIs. 2nd on the team behind McNaughton in RBIs. The 3-1 misses up and away. And a couple 1-out base runners here for the Flyboys. The double from Satterley, and now the walk issued to Reed Hare. The rain is falling as hard as it has all night. This turf field really being tested. If this was a grass field, it would be unplayable by now. But this is bordering on downpour territory. 1st and 2nd, 1 away in the 4th. Flyboys leading 5-1, looking to add some more. And time called by Will Evans, the home plate umpire. Not sure what he was looking for there. I think he was talking to Trey Neville, the field umpire, but I'm not sure about what. So Miller stepping in the righty box. A single and a fly out so far. And Baldepina looks at 2nd and fires. Miller, a late swing and miss on a fastball. It's 0-1. Some of the fans, I think, heading for cover because the rain is falling so hard. This is now a torrential downpour here in Johnson City. The good thing is the Flyboys are leading. The bad news is the game is not official yet. Here's the 0-1. Miller hits a line drive towards center field. Connor coming on is not going to get there. Satterley gets the stop sign at 3rd, and the bases are loaded with 1 out for Ezra McNaughton. Peyton Miller with a couple of really good swings of the bat here this evening. Satterley to 3rd, Hare to 2nd, and Miller aboard at 1st for the league's home run king, Ezra McNaughton. Flyboys leading 5-1 in the fourth. One gone. Grant Hunter struck out to start the inning. The rain is pouring here in Johnson City. Ball to Pina, facing McNaughton. The pitch. Breaking ball floats up and away. McNaughton hitting for the third time in 4 innings. No official at-bat. A sac fly, a walk, and a run scored. Up to 44 RBIs. Here's the 1-0. Way high, it gets to the backstop. Here comes Satterley from third. The throw to the plate. The tag is not in time. Nicky Satterley hustles home, dives in head first, scoring on the wild pitch. And it's 6-1 Greenville in the fourth. So now second and third for McNaughton. And again, if he homers, McNaughton will set a new Appy League single season record. After he tied the record yesterday, can he break it on the final day of the regular season? Baldepino wants a new baseball. The sun is peeking through the stands from the left side, but it is pouring rain. This is an unbelievable weather phenomenon. Here's the 2-0. McNaughton fouls it back. It's 2-1. The sun is now trying to come through the clouds, but again, I feel like that's bad news because the sun can serve as fuel for these thunderstorms. We've already seen some amazing lightning strikes from beyond the outfield wall in this game. Baldepino wants another new baseball, which is very understandable. He is in a very difficult spot here with the rain falling as hard as it is. A 2-1. McNaughton hits a line drive to left. Smeltzer sprinting toward the corner, and that ball is off the wall. Both runs are going to score. McNaughton into second base, standing up. 3 RBIs in 4 innings for Ezra McNaughton. This one's a 2-run double the other way, and the Flyboys have opened up an 8-1 lead in the fourth. McNaughton now up to 46 RBIs on the season. That 2-run double. He mentioned it yesterday after the game about how much he likes hitting here in Johnson City. Certainly showing that so far here tonight. Man at second, 1 away, and here's Cameron Kim. Flyboys leading by 7. The pitch. Kim takes in the dirt. Blocked nicely by Ryan Jones behind the plate. So the Flyboys in this inning with 1 away. 2 doubles, a single, and a walk, facing Vladil Baldepino, the Johnson City reliever. McNaughton off second. And the 1-0. Kim fouls it back. He was trying for his second homer in as many innings there. The Flyboys slugging as well as they have in any game this season. Greenville with a pair of 2-run homers. 2 doubles, both in this inning. I'm sure you can hear the rain continuing to fall, but I'm sure it hurts less when you're leading by 7 runs. 1-1 to Kim. Breaking ball misses up and in. Cameron Kim with that 2-run homer, also a single in this game. And he's raised his OPS over 900 now for the season. He was hovering around 830, 840 for most of the campaign, but he's heating up at the right time for Greenville. Ezra McNaughton also back in the groove. 2-1 on Kim. Here it comes. Fastball misses low and away from Baldepino. The right-hander up to 20 pitches in this inning. He's recorded just 1 out. And that was the first batter he faced. The Flyboys making Johnson City pitchers work each of the last 2 nights. 3-1 to Kim. Fastball downstairs. Ball 4. Second walk of the inning from Vladdy Baldepino. The 5th walk by Johnson City pitching through less than 4 full. First and second, 1 gone in the 4th. Flyboys leading 8-1, and the batter is Danny Wallace, the Oklahoma State commit. 0 for 2. He is the only Flyboys batter who has not reached safely in this game. Wallace, a homer and 10 RBIs in 3 weeks with the Flyboys. Here's the pitch. Wallace takes upstairs. Danny Wallace joining the team late, but he has been such a good addition to the middle of this Flyboys order. Jack Wilson trusting him a lot from day one, and it has paid off. 1-0, here it comes. Wallace pops it foul, out of play to the right side. The rain really pouring down. The sky has a golden glow from beyond the left field foul pole. Maybe that means the rain stops soon, but this is a torrential downpour right now. The turf field handling it well. Baldapina saying, get me off this mound. 1-1. Wallace takes a breaking ball for a strike. This is one of the strangest scenes I have ever witnessed at a baseball game. In terms of the weather and the game being played with this many fans. 1-2. Wallace takes low and outside. It gets past the catcher, Jones, and both runners move up. Second wild pitch of the inning for Vladdy Baldapina. And we've seen it in the past. Johnson City manager Dave Anderson will sometimes lobby for the game to be stopped. I have not seen him come out of the third base dugout yet. This is the regular season finale, and Johnson City having this many fans here, they're going to play for as long as they can. But I'm honestly surprised Anderson has not lobbied for a delay yet. So now second and third, and time called by Ryan Jones, the catcher. One run home in the inning on a wild pitch. The other two coming in on a two-run double from Ezra McNaughton. See if Danny Wallace can add to his extra base hit total. A double, a triple, and a homer for him this season. The 2-2. Wallace strikes out swinging on a breaking ball. He's 0 for 3. Both outs recorded via the strikeout. And I think they just called a balk. They did. They called Vladdy Baldapina for a walk. Or excuse me, for a balk, I should say. No strikeout, and a run scores. So scratch that. McNaughton scores on a balk, and the Flyboys now lead 9-1. It was a rather delayed call by the umpiring crew of Trey Neville and Will Evans as well, but I believe they called Baldapina for a walk, and now I'll get it right. They called Baldapina for a balk, I should say. So now the count is 3-2 as the breaking ball missed behind Danny Wallace. The lone runner now at third. The Flyboys leading 9-1 after the balk. And the payoff. Wallace takes ball 4. So they got Baldapina for a balk on what should have been strike 3. And now Dave Anderson coming out of the dugout. He's going to go to the bullpen. Pointing down toward the left field corner. It'll be men on the corners for Jace Patton after the pitching change. Flyboys leading 9-1. The rain continuing to fall as hard as it has all evening here in Johnson City. See if Greenville can push this into run rule territory when we come back on the Flyboys Baseball Network. The scorecard has gotten messy here in Johnson City. We're in the 4th inning. Greenville leading 9-1. Johnson City goes back to its bullpen. Sean Meskowick, a left-handed reliever, committed to Southern Union State Junior College in Florida. He replaces Vladdy Baldapina, who recorded just 1 out. Thought he had a second on what could have been strike 3 to Danny Wallace, but instead the home plate umpire, Will Evans, got him for a balk, which forced in Ezra McNaughton from third base. The Flyboys have scored 4 times in this inning. That balk, a wild pitch, and McNaughton with a 2-run double. So it'll be met on the corners for Jace Patton. And I think they just called the players off the field. They did. So hold that. And I think we are going to have a rain delay. I'm honestly surprised that they waited this long. And good news coming out of yesterday's highlights. The rain is still falling, but the players have returned to the field. So we are going to try to at least get through 5 innings. I don't know if we will play all 9. I can't imagine we will, because this rain has not stopped since about the bottom of the 1st inning, if memory serves correctly. We are in the 4th. The Flyboys lead 9-1. They've got runners on the corners with 1 out. And the lefty, Sean I forgot how to say his name because it's Polish, and I remembered before the rain delay, and now I feel really bad because as an announcer, that's like job 1.1 is to know how to say the names. And it just got back to me. Sean Misikowic. That's how you say his name. There we go. Got the first part of the job out of the way. Sean Misikowic is on the mound for Johnson City. He inherits runners on the corners. Right before the rain delay, we had a balk that forced in a run and led to an ejection. Reed Casey ejected by the field umpire, Trey Neville. This crowd has thinned out considerably, but we are getting set to resume this game. Johnson City fans really amped up for a team that's losing by 8 runs in the 4th, I must say. The crowd has thinned out considerably. But we will update that this game is resuming. As Jace Patton comes to the plate, the rain delay ends at 9:07 after beginning at 8:24 local time. So about a 45-minute delay, give or take. But the Flyboys commanding this game right now. They lead by a score of 9-1, and Jace Patton hits now with men on the corners and 1 away. Sean Misikowic is the new lefty in the game for the Doughboys. On for the 6th time this season. 5 innings, 4 runs, an ERA of 7.2. He's ready. Here's the pitch to Jace Patton. In there at the knees for a strike. And Patton tonight 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored so far. This rain has not slowed down at all since this game was paused. I wouldn't be surprised if we get through 5 innings and call this one. Especially considering that there's nothing for these teams to play for. The 0-1. Up and away. In this inning, Nicky Satterley doubled off the wall and left. Reed Hare walked. Peyton Miller with a single. Ezra McNaughton a 2-run opposite field double. A walk and another walk. The latter of which prompted an ejection. Here's the 1-1 to Jace Patton. Popped foul over the first base side. 2 RBIs in this inning from Jace Patton. 1 run scoring on a wild pitch and the other on a balk. Danny Wallace is at first base. And Cameron Kim is over at third. But 3 walks and a pair of doubles in the inning for the Flyboys. 1-2. Patton waits. Here's the pitch. Fastball bounces in front of home plate, gets past the catcher Jones. The flip to the plate is not in time to get Cameron Kim. And the fans upset because that looked like a neighborhood play, but the pitcher Misikowic never tried to tag Cameron Kim. So the Flyboys now into double figures, leading 10-1 here in the 4th. And this game is in the neighborhood of a run rule at this point. Man at second now as Danny Wallace moves up on that wild pitch. 2-2 on Jace Patton after Misikowic spiked a fastball. And the lefty steps off. This inning from start to finish will take over an hour in real time. 2-2. A look at second. And the pitch. Patton takes a changeup outside and high. And the count runs full. And for Greenville, Micah Jordan waits on deck. He has one of 2 2-run homers in this game. The other coming from Cameron Kim, who scored on that wild pitch. 3-2. Here's the pitch. Patton takes inside and low. This one also gets to the backstop. Another wild pitch for Johnson City. And Wallace moves to third as Patton walks. Now men on the corners for Micah Jordan. Flyboys leading 10-1. 1 gone in the 4th. And Jordan, before he steps in, Dave Anderson, the Johnson City manager, is talking to the home plate umpire, Will Evans, asking if Jace Patton got hit by that pitch. And now the umpires are going to talk about it, which is kind of funny because as the home plate umpire, you should have the best view. Anderson, I should say, the Johnson City manager, wants that to be a dead ball, which would put Wallace back at second base, as he would not be allowed to advance. It was ruled a wild pitch for ball 4, putting Patton on first and Wallace moving to third as that one got to the backstop. Will Evans, the home plate umpire, talking to Dave Anderson and the Flyboys third base coach Jared Miller in front of the Johnson City third base dugout. I don't know how the field umpire could possibly have a different view of that, but also it didn't look like the ball changed direction after it bounced in front of home plate, which would indicate to me that it was not a hit by pitch. And Will Evans not changing his call. So Patton aboard at first. Danny Wallace stays at third base. A base hit from Micah Jordan will put this game in mercy rule territory. Flyboys leading 10-1. Men on the corners, 1 gone in the 4th. The Flyboys have scored 5 runs in this inning, which began over an hour ago in real time. We had a late rain delay that took nearly 45 minutes. The rain is still falling as hard as it has all night, as you can hear on the bleachers down the third base side. The pitch to Micah Jordan. Fastball misses up and away. And selfishly, I think for the Flyboys, you're hoping, Jordan is the 9th man to the plate in this inning, by the way. You're hoping that you can get Ezra McNaughton up one more time with a chance to break the single-season home run record. He loves hitting in this park, already with 3 RBIs tonight. The 1-0 to Jordan. A big swing and a miss at a high fastball. It's 1-1. Micah Jordan hit that 2-run line drive homer in the 2nd inning. That is the difference in this game right now. At that point, the Flyboys led 3-0 and then 3-1 after the bottom of the 2nd. Johnson City's lone run, a solo homer from Camden Kaufman at third base. 1-1 to Micah Jordan. Fastball misses head high. Sean Misakowick having all kinds of trouble on the mound, which, given the weather, is very understandable. This is a situation that the Flyboys in Johnson City have found themselves in now twice this season. Torrential rain, pitchers having trouble with their release points. The 2-1. Jordan hits a pop-up on the infield, fading towards shallow right. Logan Fife, the second baseman, is over, and he makes the catch in the shallow outfield to retire Jordan. Man at the corners, 2 down in the 4th. Flyboys leading 10-1, and the batter is Grant Hunter. Hunter stepping in for the 2nd time this inning, facing Vladil Baldipina about an hour ago. He struck out swinging. And as you can expect, Sean Misakowick wants a new baseball. He's thrown out a couple. Actually, the catcher Ryan Jones threw one out there as well. Which again, I am very much on Misakowick's side here. It's an impossible situation as a pitcher. The rain continuing to fall at a heavy rate. Hunter steps in. Flyboys looking to extend their advantage to 10 runs if they can bring home Danny Wallace from third base. The pitch to Hunter. Fastball misses head high. And again, Misakowick just struggling there for his release point. He looked down at his feet as well on that one. Standing at 6'7", 205. He's really trying to get down the mound. 1-0 on Hunter. Lefty sets at the belt. Here's the pitch. Hunter swings and misses at a good sinker. It's 1-1. Elsewhere around the Appy League, again, Kingsport and Tri-State rained out. Flash floods in Kingsport. 10-0 Burlington leads Danville in the 6th. Bristol 8-2 over Elizabethton also in the 6th. Pulaski up 8-3 on Bluefield in the 7th. Time called at home plate. Now both parties are ready. And the 1-1 to Grant Hunter. Misses shoulder high. It's 2-1. Whoever the Flyboys call out to the mound in the 4th inning will have to contend with these same conditions. Matthew Egan worked a 1-2-3 third. Well over an hour ago now. Here's the 2-1 to Hunter. Fastball bounces to the plate, dug out on a short hop by Ryan Jones. Good job by him of snaring that one, because that was headed to be the 4th wild pitch of the inning for Johnson City. This place was packed before the rain delay. It has cleared out considerably. Hitters count for Hunter. A lot of room on the right side. See if he gets something to drive. Here's the pitch. Hunter swings and misses at a fastball. Misikowic challenged him there, but the count is 3-2. Full count, 2 outs. Jace Patton will be off on the pitch from first base. Wallace at third. He'll score on anything. Flyboys looking to extend their 10-1 lead. Runner goes, the 3-2. Hunter gets hit, and that's ball 4. Would have been ball 4 either way. Hunter would have liked it to not brush him in the shoulder there. The bases are loaded for Nicky Satterley. The Flyboys bullpen catcher turned starting catcher, and before Satterley steps in, Johnson City pitching coach Reed Casey going out to have a word with Sean Misikowic. Satterley had a double to the wall earlier in this inning, his first hit of the season in the Appy League. Now, he's only had 6 at-bats. Played a game for Danville, and then here tonight playing in his 3rd game with the Flyboys, added to the roster because they needed a 3rd catcher. Satterley went down to talk to Flyboys third base coach Jared Miller, see if he can be the one to push this game into mercy rule territory. Grant Hunter at first, Jace Patton at second, Danny Wallace at third. Satterley doubled off the wall to begin the Flyboys' 1-out rally. Now with 2 outs, see if he can come through. 10-1 Greenville leads, left on right. Here's the pitch. Satterley pops it up, foul toward the right side. Jackson Jones, the first baseman, gives it a look, but that ball is out of play. About 10 feet on the wrong side of the fence for Jackson Jones. The rain has not let up at all in the last hour and a half or so. Looks like it's going to stop here in about an hour, which, I mean, I guess that's some sort of solace, but at this point, you're probably looking to get through 5 innings and call it. 0-1 on Satterley. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses upstairs. Both pitchers, Flyboys and Doughboys, will be struggling to find their release point the rest of this game. There is no doubt about that. 1-1 on Satterley, and the key is for him making sure that you don't miss any mistakes. Lefty deals. Satterley swings and misses on an outside fastball. It's 1-2. The Flyboys scored 12 runs yesterday on just 5 hits. Greenville now has 8 hits in this game, scoring 10 runs. Greenville doing more damage with the bats than yesterday when the Flyboys walked 17 times. Here's the 1-2. Satterley strikes out on a breaking ball, and that ends the inning. Greenville, though, sends 11 to the plate. And as we go to the home half of inning number 4, Flyboys lead 10-1 over Johnson City on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Flyboys leading this game 10-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. As expected, Greenville turns to a new pitcher after the nearly 45-minute long rain delay. It'll be J.D. Hay on in relief of Matthew Egan. Egan worked a 1-2-3 third inning in the early part of the 8 o'clock hour. Now, nearly 9:30, Hay comes on, and he'll face Brandon Chang, Camden Kaufman, and Jackson Jones, 5, 6, and 7, in the Doughboys order due up. Flyboys scored 5 times in that 4th inning. They sent 11 to the plate. A 2-run double from Ezra McNaughton, and 1 run scoring on a wild pitch, another on a balk. Chang steps in the righty box. J.D. Hay is ready. Here's the pitch. Chang takes low and outside. J.D. Hay on the mound for the 12th time this season. 18 1/3 innings, 10 earned runs on 16 hits, 14 walks, and 21 Ks. The 1-0. Chang takes a breaking ball low and outside, ball 2. The Flyboys are hoping, I'm sure, to get this advantage out to 10 runs in the 5th inning and then work a scoreless bottom half and go home. I'd imagine that's the objective here. The 2-0. Chang hits a line drive deep to left, but foul. Did not have home run distance. So 2-1 on Brandon Chang. The Johnson City DH here tonight. He struck out facing Jackson Krakonis back in the 2nd inning. But this game is official after 5. The run rule is 10 runs after 7. With the rain falling as torrentially as it is, I don't know that the umpires are going to want this game to go 7 innings. 2-1. Chang takes upstairs, ball 3. Hay missed with the fastball. And I think also the bigger concern is player safety for both sides. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Chang takes outside, ball 4. Flyboys leading 10-1. Man at first, nobody away in the bottom of the 4th. And here's Camden Kaufman. Kaufman stepping in. He homered to left field back in the 2nd. The lone run of the game for Johnson City to this point. That was his first homer of the season. This is Johnson City's 46th and final game. The pitch from J.D. Hay. Kaufman takes a breaking ball downstairs. But the number one concern for both sides here, I think, is player safety. Johnson City wants to get out of the season finale unscathed, and the Flyboys want to get to the playoffs without any injuries. The 1-0. Kaufman takes a strike. Fastball on the outside part of the plate. Chang off of first. Just 3 steals for him on the season. And with these field conditions, I can't imagine he's running. The 1-1. Kaufman takes a slider low and outside from J.D. Hay. That looked like a strike. It was on the plate on the outside corner, but Will Evans, the home plate umpire, had other ideas. So 2-1 on Kaufman. And the pitch. Kaufman takes outside. Now, if you look at the strike zone box, 2 pitches in the zone have been called balls. One on the outside chalk has been called a strike. A puzzling zone, to say the least. Here's the 3-1. Kaufman takes ball 4. J.D. Hay got squeezed. There's no doubt about that. And that cheering you hear is not because Johnson City has done anything incredible. Rocky, the bat dog, still out there. First and second, nobody away in the bottom of the 4th. Flyboys leading 10-1 after nearly an hour-long rain delay. And here's Jackson Jones, the first baseman. He doubled off the top of the wall in left center last time. Right-handed batter. Here's the pitch. Jones takes low and away. That pitch also should have been a strike. That's 3 to the last 2 batters. That was right at the bottom of the zone, but was not called. And in these conditions, getting squeezed has to feel like the cherry on top of a very poor tasting ice cream. 1-0, outside. That was in the other batter's box. But it's hard enough to pitch in torrential rain like this. Now you're going to add a tight strike zone on top of it. I don't envy J.D. Hay right now. 2-0 on Jackson Jones. Here's the pitch. Jones takes a strike. That was no further off the plate than some of the other questionable calls in this inning. But I guess if you hit the spot enough, you get it. Jones with 2 homers and 16 RBIs this season, hitting .239. 2-1 from Hay. In the dirt, blocked by Satterley. The runners stay put. The Flyboys have scored in every inning so far. Multiple runs in the last 3 consecutive frames. Greenville hoping to get right back here in Johnson City for the championship game on Friday. The Flyboys have to go through Kingsport tomorrow. 3-1. Jones takes a fastball for strike 2. The outside part of the plate, and he steps out of the box. J.D. Hay with an ERA of 4.9 in 18 of the 3rd innings this season. Flyboys have the best pitching staff of any team away from home. A 4.78 road ERA. Hay in a tough spot here. First and second, nobody out. And a full count on Jackson Jones. Here's the payoff pitch. Jones strikes out on a breaking ball. Great pitch there from J.D. Hay when he needed it most. He called upon Uncle Charlie, the curveball. First and second, one away for Ryan Jones. Flyboys leading 10-1 in the home half of the fourth. Jones, the number 8 hitter. The Johnson City catcher. Jones walked back in the second, which feels like an eternity ago. The pitch from J.D. Hay, a fastball in there for a strike. And he's starting to hit those spots on the edge of the zone more consistently. Now it looks like Will Evans, the home plate umpire, is giving it to him. Double play ends the inning here. See if the Flyboys can roll one up in these rainy conditions. The 0-1. Jones takes in the dirt. It gets away from Satterley, and both runners move up. Chang to third, Kaufman to second. And now Jared Morton, the pitching coach, comes out of the first base dugout. He wants to talk to J.D. Hay. And this is just a tough spot, really, for both of these teams because, again, there is absolutely nothing that will change in the postseason standings regardless of tonight's result. Johnson City eliminated 6 days ago by Elizabethton. And then the Flyboys knocked out the River Riders the very next day. Well, this is a situation where the Flyboys, again, are just hoping to get to the playoffs healthy, and in rainy conditions, you never know because the baseball is so slippery. So now men on second and third. A 1-1 count on Jones. Johnson City trying to eat into this 10-1 deficit. Hay from the windup. Here's the pitch. A ground ball up the middle. This is through into center field. Both runs are going to score. And it's a 2-run single for Ryan Jones. 10-3 Johnson City. Probably the loudest cheers you'll ever hear for a 2-run single to cut the deficit to 7. Ryan Jones picks up RBIs number 15 and 16 on the year. And now digging in, the number 9 hitter, Landon Smeltzer. 10-3 10-3 Flyboys in the fourth. Man at first, one gone. Here's the pitch. Smeltzer takes high. And this is a situation where I think if this was a normal game, there is absolutely no way that these teams would be playing right now. The rain is falling so heavily, and it has been for the last 2 hours. 1-0. Smeltzer swings through a curveball. Out in front there, it's 1-1. Because this is the final night of the regular season, teams trying to play through it. And at a certain point, it just feels like it doesn't make any sense. 1-1. A pause from Hay and a pickoff move to first. The tag late. Ryan Jones is in there safely. Smeltzer walked back in the second. Johnson City stranded the bases loaded. Dane Morrow, the man on deck, lined out to second. 1-1. Breaking ball misses away. That was hit right to Peyton Miller, and it was very fortunate for the Flyboys that Morrow hit an atom ball right there because that could have very easily been a 3-run double to the wall in right center. Jones off of first. The 2-1. Way high. J.D. Hayes misses, much like Sean Misikowick in the last half inning. The misses are very dramatic, which in the rain you can totally understand. It's just a tough spot for everybody here. With this turf field, you're able to play through the rain like this, but it's not easy. 3-1 to Smeltzer. Inside, ball 4, the third walk of the inning. Now the top of the order comes up. Here's Dane Morrow for the third time in 4 frames. Johnson City trailing the Flyboys 10-3. Smeltzer at first, Jones up to second. Here's Dane Morrow, who hit that line drive right at Peyton Miller to end the second inning and strand 3. Right on left, here's the pitch. Morrow swings through a curveball downstairs, 0-1. Flyboys looking to pick up win number 26 and finish the regular season at 7 games above 500. A long way to go, though. Here's the 0-1. Morrow takes a strike. That pitch was on the outside chalk. I think you can pencil that in as a makeup call. Dane Morrow asked for time. J.D. Hay's gotten squeezed 3 or 4 times in this frame, so it's only right that he gets a makeup call to go his way. Strikeout would be huge here for J.D. Hay. Right-hander sets at the belt. Here's the 0-2. Morrow takes low and away. Hay missed with the changeup. The rain's still falling heavily. It has not, again, it has not let up at all. It began falling 2.5 hours ago, just after first pitch. 1-2. Morrow hits it the other way. That's through into left field, a base hit. Ryan Jones gets the stop sign at third, but the bases are loaded for Logan Fife. The right man for the job is up in Logan Fife. The most dangerous hitter in this Doughboys lineup when they face the Flyboys. But Fife has been held just 1 for 5 in this series. Had an RBI single yesterday, but Fife hitting nearly 500 against Greenville with 9 RBIs. Hay from the windup facing Fife. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Fife with 33 RBIs on the season. He's popped out both times tonight. Bases loaded, less than 2 outs, so infield fly is in effect here. The 1-0 from J.D. Hay. Outside again. That was on the chalk. It's ball 2. And you're just hoping, I mean, J.D. Hay will obviously trade a run for an out here. But you don't want Johnson City to start creeping back into this game now. The 2-0. Fife swings through a breaking ball. He was selling out on the heater there, and he was well out in front. 2-1. Fife asked for time, now back in. The 2-1 pitch. He hits a tapper to the right side. Peyton Miller fields on a high hop, and he can't make the play. Everybody's safe. Miller thought about, I think they did get an out on that. Dane Morrow slid past second base, so the Flyboys catch a break. As Ryan Jones scores, it's now 10-4 Greenville. But Peyton Miller bobbled that on the exchange. He was trying to go to second with it, but the ball was slippery, so he couldn't get it cleanly. But as he flipped it to second base, Dane Morrow slid past the bag. Here's Nate Connor taking in the dirt. So now men on the corners for Connor with 2 gone in the inning. And the pitch. Popped up on the left side, out of play. That ball is foul. But neither the official scorer nor the in-stadium scoreboard picked up that an out was made on that play. Dane Morrow slid, I think, too far past second base. Peyton Miller and Jace Patton were making their case for it, Cameron Kim, the second baseman and the shortstop, were making the case for that right away. So there are 2 out in the inning, men on the corners. Here's the pitch. Connor takes outside. Because if Morrow was safe at second, then the bases would still be loaded, which obviously is not true because there's nobody at second base right now. 2-1. Hay fires. Connor takes up and away. That's ball 3. J.D. Hay has thrown 36 pitches in this inning. And again, I do not understand why we're still playing this game because it is so wet out there and there is nothing to play for. Here's the 3-1. Connor hits a line drive. This will split the gap and head all the way to the wall in right center. 1 run scores. Fife racing home all the way from first. There's no play. It's a 2-run triple for Nate Connor. Fife scores all the way from first. Smelser jogs home from third. Nate Connor with a 2-run triple to the wall in right center. Johnson City has now sent 9 men to the plate this inning. Here comes Trey Majette. 10-6, the Flyboys lead is evaporating. Here's the pitch. Majette hits a ground ball to shortstop. This should end the inning. The throw to first is in time, and that's it. Johnson City answers for the 5 spot in the top half of the frame. But as we go to the 5th, it's 10-6 Flyboys in a game that probably shouldn't even still be going on the Flyboys Baseball Network. It's a whole new game as we begin the 5th here in Johnson City. The Flyboys lead the Doughboys 10-6. Each team scored 5 runs in the 4th inning, which from start to finish took over an hour on account of a rain delay. New lefty on the mound for the Doughboys is Cade Folk. He will face the top of the Flyboys order, Reed Hare, Peyton Miller, and Ezra McNaughton. Folk from the stretch. Hare, left-handed batter, takes up and in. Cade Folk, the Johnson City southpaw, is on the hill. Going from the stretch to Hare once again. It's fouled back to the third base side. Folk is on for the 13th time this season. He's been good for Johnson City. 18 2/3 innings with an ERA of 2.4. Here's the 1-1. Hare takes a good breaking ball at the knees. It's 1-2. The rain has begun to let up. It's still falling, but lighter than it was in the last half inning. J.D. Hay got tagged for 5 runs. It's tough for both pitchers to find the strike zone in that 4th. And the 1-2 to Reed Hare. A ground ball up the middle. That ball is past the shortstop, Dane Morrow, for a leadoff single. Hare is aboard for the 3rd time in 4 trips. Leadoff man aboard for Peyton Miller. Flyboys leading 10-6 in the 5th. Folk out of Austin Peay here in Tennessee. Peyton Miller 2 for 3 with a couple knocks tonight. Scored a run in that 4th inning. Flyboys scored on 3 separate wild pitches, or actually 2 wild pitches, a balk, and a 2-run double from Ezra McNaughton. Also a couple 2-run homers in this game for Greenville. See if Miller can continue the offensive onslaught for the Flyboys. Here's the pitch. Fouls it back. Cade Folk already the 5th different pitcher used by Johnson City here tonight. And we're only in the 5th inning. Miller back in. It's 0-1. A lot of room on the right side of the infield. Here's the pitch. Miller swings and misses. Late on a fastball. Ezra McNaughton is on deck. He had that 2-run homer last inning. Or excuse me, 2-run double. I'll get it right sooner or later. Cade Folk looking for what would be his 37th strikeout in less than 19 innings this season. Here's the pitch. Miller chases high cheese, and he's gone. Cade Folk, for his college career across 3 seasons, he's been really good at striking batters out. A career strikeouts per 9 of 16 in over 50 innings. And it definitely shows. He's got a good breaking ball. And he got Miller on an elevated heater. Here's McNaughton, left on left. This should be a fun matchup. The pitch from Folk, a slider that bounces past Ryan Jones. And off goes Reed Hare to second base. The 3rd Johnson City wild pitch in the last 2 innings. But Cade Folk, the lefty, in the high 80s with the heater. And that breaking ball in the mid-70s, but there he spiked it in front of the plate. So there goes the double play. McNaughton looking for his 4th RBI of the night. 3 in the first 4 innings isn't bad at all. 10-6 Flyboys in the fifth, man at second with one gone. And Folk comes back. McNaughton takes low and outside. Folk missing with the hard stuff there. The infield shading Ezra McNaughton to his pull side. And the ball comes out of the Johnson City bullpen, so time is called for a moment. It's the third or fourth time we've seen that. But a hitter's count on McNaughton here. He's already walked once in this game. Folk sets at the letters. And the 2-0. McNaughton pops it foul out of play to the third base side. That was a fastball just off the outside part of the plate. McNaughton tried to get his arms extended there, but he just couldn't keep that one fair. That double that he hit back in the fourth was to the left field corner. 2-1. Folk sets. Good lead for Hare at second. Here's the pitch. McNaughton takes up and in. That fastball above his hands had to lean out of the way. Cameron Kim waits on deck. He's got a 2-run homer tonight. So really, if Folk pitches around McNaughton, he's got to face a hitter who is just as dangerous. 3-1. And the pitch. McNaughton hits a ground ball towards second. Should be routine for Logan Fife. And he throws on to first in time. That's out number 2. Reed Hare moves up to third. Man at third, 2 gone in the fifth. Flyboys leading Johnson City 10-6. And if Greenville wants to score for the 5th consecutive inning to start this game, Cameron Kim's got to at least reach base. He's done so all 3 times tonight. 2 for 2 with a homer. 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs. Left on right, Folk looking to strand the man in scoring position. Kim is ready. Here's the pitch. Kim takes in the dirt. It gets past Jones, and once again, the Flyboys add a run on a wild pitch. It is now 11-6 in the fifth, as Hare scores for the 2nd consecutive inning on a wild pitch. Command has been a problem all season for Johnson City pitchers. There's no doubt about that. They lead the league in walk rate at over 7.5 per 9 innings. 3rd in the league with 65 wild pitches entering tonight. Here's the 1-0. Kim takes a strike at the knees. But Johnson City in this game now with 6 wild pitches. That brings the Doughboys 2 shy of league-leading Tri-State, 71 to Tri-State's 73. The pitch to Kim, a fastball that looked like it was at the shoulders, right at the top of the zone from Cade Folk. It's 1-2. Kim didn't like it. One run home on the wild pitch. Folk sets. And now the 1-2. Up and outside. Fastball sailed on him there. The rain has either slowed down considerably or completely stopped. It looks like it's still sprinkling a little, but much less intense than it was earlier. Folk deals the 2-2. Kim strikes out swinging, and that's the inning. Halfway home in Johnson City, 11-6 the Flyboys lead as we go to the bottom of the 5th on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. Bottom of the 5th inning here in Johnson City. The Flyboys leading the Doughboys 11-6. Johnson City sent 9 to the plate and scored 5 in the 4th inning. The Doughboys scoring on a 2-run triple, a 2-run single, and an RBI fielder's choice. J.D. Hay will face the same 3 that he faced to begin the 4th. Brandon Chang, Camden Kaufman, and Jackson Jones. Hay is ready. Here's the pitch to Brandon Chang. A breaking ball in there for a strike. Chang walked and came around to score. One of 3 walks that did so in the 4th inning facing J.D. Hay. The 0-1. Hit in the air to the right side and foul. McNaughton going back. Hare coming over, and Ezra McNaughton makes the catch on the warning track near the Flyboys bullpen in right field. With how deep that ball ended up, I thought maybe Reed Hare, the right fielder, was going to be the one to go get it. But McNaughton read that one all the way. So Brandon Chang has gone on one pitch. And now here's Camden Kaufman. If you guys are going to clap, you could at least keep time. Not even close. Here's Kaufman, the pitch. Fastball in there for a strike. And I think the 3 walks that J.D. Hay issued in the last inning should be qualified by saying it was pouring rain, and nobody could find the strike zone in that 4th inning for either team. Kaufman hits a hard ground ball foul past third. It's 0-2. But Kaufman homered back in the 2nd. That was to get Johnson City on the board. At 5 spot, breathing new life into the Doughboys in the 4th. Here's the 0-2 to Kaufman. Breaking ball misses in the dirt. Hay tried for the chase. You feel like if J.D. Hay can deliver a shutdown inning here, keep the Doughboys from inching closer, would go a long way. 1-2. Kaufman strikes out on a good off-speed pitch in the dirt. You could tell he was fooled there. The 2nd strikeout for J.D. Hay. 2 quick outs to begin the 5th. Base is empty for Jackson Jones. Flyboys leading 11-6. Kaufman went fishing on a changeup in the dirt there. Good arm action from Hay. Here's Jones. Doubled back in the 2nd. Right on right. And Jones takes low and away. Hay working that breaking ball quite a bit. J.D. Hay out of Tallahassee State Junior College. The pitch to Jones. He hits a line drive to 2nd. Peyton Miller makes a sliding stop on one hop and gets to his feet to throw out Jackson Jones. That's a great play at 2nd base by Peyton Miller. And it's a 1-2-3 5th inning for J.D. Hay. We'll go to the 6th. Flyboys leading this one 11-6 on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. Top of the 6th inning here in Johnson City. The Flyboys controlling this game, 11-6 over the Doughboys. Danny Wallace will face Cade Folk. Folk delivers a fastball downstairs to the right-handed batter. Looks like a good pitch there from the Johnson City southpaw. Gave up a leadoff single, and the runner scored on a wild pitch in the top of the 5th. The 1-0 to Wallace inside. Heater missing from Folk there. The teams traded 5-run 4th innings. The Flyboys have scored in all 5 innings so far. 2-0 to Wallace. Fastball up and away from Cade Folk. 3 straight balls to begin the frame. Wallace will be followed by Jace Patton and Micah Jordan. 5, 6, 7 in the Greenville order will hit here in the 6th. Folk looking to avoid a 4-pitch leadoff walk. He delivers. Wallace takes a fastball for a strike. Danny Wallace had 3 RBIs yesterday. A couple of hits. 0 for 2 with a walk, a ground out, and a strikeout tonight. The 3-1. Wallace takes inside. It's a 5-pitch leadoff walk issued by Cade Folk. Jace Patton steps in. He was the first batter out of the rain delay, which lasted from 8:24 to 9:07, so nearly an hour. That's why we're only in the 6th inning, despite it being nearly 3 hours since this game began. Patton has walked twice and scored a run tonight. He's hitting for the 4th time in the last 5 innings. Wallace at first. And the pitch from the lefty Folk. A fastball in there for strike 1. The rain has slowed down considerably here in Johnson City. It's a torrential downpour for the better part of 2.5 hours, but now barely above a drizzle. The 0-1. Patton hits a chopper to the left side. Kaufman cuts it off. He'll go to 2nd to get Danny Wallace, but that's all. Score at 5-4 on the fielder's choice. Man at first, 1 gone for Micah Jordan. He homered back in the 2nd. A line drive, two-run shot to left field. Since then, he's popped out and struck out swinging. See if Jordan can drive another one out of here. Folk sets, left on right. Here's the pitch to Jordan. Fastball misses high. Micah Jordan now with 4 homers, 25 RBIs in his second season with the Flyboys. Looking to make it back to the championship for the second time. Here's the 1-0. Fastball misses further upstairs. That one around head height. It's 2-0. A right-hander is up in the Greenville bullpen. See if J.D. Hay comes out for his 3rd inning of work or if the Flyboys will turn to another reliever. Cade Folk, already the 5th different pitcher used by Johnson City in this game. 2-0 on Jordan. And the pitch. He chases what would have been ball 3. There's another shoulder-high fastball off the outside edge. Micah Jordan does not get cheated up there. That's for certain. He'll expand the zone, sometimes a little bit too much. Can't imagine Jace Patton's going to take off from first here with the field as wet as it is. 2-1. Jordan takes up and away, ball 3. Elsewhere around the Appy League, a couple games called early due to inclement weather. 3-1 on Jordan. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. An outside fastball that would have been ball 4, but instead it's 3-2. Burlington beats Danville 12-2 in 7 innings. Elizabethton falls to Bristol 8-5 in 6 innings due to inclement weather. Kingsport and Tri-State rained out. Pulaski and Bluefield tied at 8 in the 8th inning. 3-2. Jordan takes low and outside. The second walk of the inning from Cade Folk. So men at first and second, 1 away in the top of the 6th. The Flyboys leading this one 11-6. Johnson City has scored 5 of the last 6 runs. Here's Grant Hunter. He batted twice in the 4th inning. A strikeout and a hit by pitch in that frame. He singled back in the 2nd. Folk in some trouble here. See if Hunter can pay it off. The pitch. He takes downstairs. 1-0 on Grant Hunter. Nicky Satterley, the Flyboys catcher, is on deck. Still with his shin guards, with 1 out and men on first and second. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Hunter pops it foul behind home plate. It's 1-1. But now 3+ hours since first pitch. Again, the Flyboys have to go home and then play a playoff game tomorrow on the road. Surely that's got to be a consideration, right? I don't know, one way or another. Here's the 1-1. Hunter takes in on the hands. Cade Folk struggling with the strike zone here in his 2nd inning of work. And after he gave up that leadoff single, he struck out a pair in the 5th inning, though that run did score on a wild pitch, but it looked like he calmed down pretty quickly. The 2-1. Hunter swings through a fastball there. It's a pretty hittable pitch, but came up with nothing. Folk on the season entering tonight's outing, 36 strikeouts to 9 walks. A 4-1 strikeout to walk ratio. One of the best in the league. Here's the 2-2. Hunter strikes out swinging. 3rd strikeout for Folk. So first and second, 2 away. And here's Nicky Satterley. Flyboys catcher doubled off the wall in left field. And before Folk faces Satterley, Johnson City manager Dave Anderson comes out of the dugout, points to the bullpen. So Satterley will not get to see Cade Folk. Another pitching change for the Doughboys. It'll be their 6th pitcher in less than 6 full innings. First and second with 2 out when we come back. Flyboys leading 11-6 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. New right-hander out of the bullpen for Johnson City is Ryan Smith out of Walters State Community College. He's on for the 13th time this season for the Doughboys. First and second, 2 away in the 6th. Greenville looking to add to its 11-6 lead. And here's the number 9 hitter, Nicky Satterley. Satterley wearing just one batting glove on his bottom hand. The pitch. Right-handed batter takes a fastball for a strike. Ryan Smith sporting a 5.3 ERA in 22 innings this season. Looking to strand Micah Jordan at first base and Danny Wallace at second, or Jace Patton, I should say. Satterley swings and misses at a breaking ball. It's 0-2. If Satterley can reach, then the dangerous top of the order would hit for Greenville, and that would spell trouble. Smith ahead 0-2. Here's the pitch. Satterley strikes out swinging. 3 pitches, and Ryan Smith gets out of trouble. As we go to the home half of inning number 6, Johnson City trails the Flyboys 11-6 on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. Bottom of the 6th here in Johnson City. The Flyboys leading the Doughboys. 11-6 our score. And out of the bullpen for the Flyboys is Hayden Holloman. Right-hander making his 3rd appearance of the season for Greenville, one of the late season roster additions. Holloman out of Walters State Junior College. 3 earned runs in an inning and a third, 4 walks, no strikeouts. He's given up 2 hits. So Holloman looking for something cleaner than what he's shown so far here in the 6th, working with a 5-run lead. And he'll face 8-9-1 in the Doughboys order. It'll be Ryan Jones, followed by Landon Smeltzer, and Dane Morrow. A righty followed by a pair of lefties. Ryan Jones stepping in, had a 2-run single in the 4th inning when Johnson City sent 9 to the plate and scored 5 times. The pitch to Ryan Jones. Fastball in there for a strike on the inside part of the plate. J.D. Hay done after 2 innings. Had to pitch coming out of the rain delay while the rain was still falling quite heavily. Here's the 0-1. Jones gets jammed, hits a flare towards shallow right. This ball is dropping, and it is down in front of Reed Hare. That ball off the bat at about 50 miles an hour. But it's a bloop single for Ryan Jones. Leadoff man aboard in the bottom of the 6th. Flyboys leading 11-6 over Johnson City. And the batter is the Doughboys left fielder, Landon Smeltzer. Smeltzer has walked both times tonight. Mentioned the rain. Pitchers struggling to command the strike zone with the torrential downpour we had really for the first 2.5 hours of this game, including the rain delay. The pitch to Smeltzer, low and outside from Holloman. That ball off the bat of Ryan Jones. I estimated it at 50. 62 miles an hour off the handle. It was fair by about 3 or 4 feet. Jones leads off of first, held on by McNaughton. Here's the pitch. Smeltzer pokes it foul, out of play to the left side. It's 1-1. We should be in the clear as far as weather is concerned for the rest of this game. This drizzle tapering off over the next half hour or so. It's barely noticeable in the floodlights now. Holloman sets. And the 1-1. Smeltzer takes up and away. Fastball tailing out of the zone to the left-handed batter. Greenville and Kingsport. That game scheduled the Appy League West Championship, 7 o'clock tomorrow at Hunter Wright Stadium in Kingsport. A pickoff move to first. The runner dives back in safely. Jones is over there. And while that game is going on, Burlington will host Bluefield in the Appy League East Championship game. The winners meeting here in Johnson City on Friday night. The 2-1. Smeltzer takes outside again. Holloman falling behind now, 3-1. See if Holloman can work back. Hitters count here with the top of the order waiting on deck. This is how the rally started last inning. Here's the pitch. Smeltzer takes downstairs. That's ball 4. A single and a walk to start the 6th for Johnson City at the plate. And now back to the top of the order for Dane Morrow. He had a single in the 4th. That was when Johnson City rallied 2 innings ago. The Doughboys scored 5 of their 6 runs in that frame. And for the Flyboys now, that is the 6th walk they have issued in less than 6 innings, which is uncharacteristic for them. Holloman sets, and the pitch. Morrow takes a high strike on the inside corner. That was a good pitch by Holloman right at the top of the zone. Morrow didn't like it, but that was there. Double play would be nice for Holloman and company. Here's the 0-1. Morrow swings through another good off-speed pitch. That one below the zone. It's 0-2. You could tell by the timing of that swing, he was fooled. Holloman's got him on his heels here. First and second, nobody out. The strikeout is your best friend. Here it comes. Morrow takes in the dirt this time, blocked by Satterley. No advance from Jones at second. Smeltzer over there at first, also having to stay put. With this wet turf, base runners are going to have to be cautious whenever they slide or dive because you're going to move much further than you're used to once you hit the ground. The 1-2 pitch. Morrow strikes out swinging. Holloman got him on high cheese there. It's a big first out. Now here's Logan Fife. The Flyboys have held him 1 for 6 with 2 RBIs, which when considering he was 12 for 23 in the first 5 meetings between these teams, you'll take that. First and second, 1 gone in the bottom of the 6th. The Flyboys leading 11-6 here in the regular season finale. The pitch from Holloman. Fife foul tips it at home plate. That's strike 1. Holloman handcuffed him with an inside fastball. Fife, a right-handed batter, hitting over 320 entering tonight. 33 RBIs, now 34 after he grounded into a fielder's choice in the 4th. That scored a run. The 0-1. Breaking ball misses head high. It gets past Satterley, and there goes your double play. Both runners now in scoring position. Smeltzer to second, Jones to third. Looked like Satterley may have gotten crossed up there. Had to go back across the plate to his left and just could not snare that one. So now second and third with only 1 away. The wind blowing out to straightaway center. And this is a hitter's park here in Johnson City. We've seen 3 home runs in this game, although all of those before the rain delay. Holloman from the windup. Here's the pitch. Fife fouls it back. It's 1-2. Fife came out of his shoes on that swing, shaking his head to himself as he walks around the home plate circle. But Fife 0 for 3 tonight. Feels like he's definitely due. Holloman from the windup with 2 in scoring position. The 1-2. Fife lines it foul to the right side, out of play. Looks like Bristol has actually just gotten back. The State Liners beating Elizabethton to close their regular season. And that game ended so long ago that the State Liners have now returned here to Johnson City. To give some perspective. 1-2 on Fife. Here it comes. Fife takes low and outside. Holloman tried an off-speed pitch there. Fife saw it all the way. You guys are going to play full. Strikeout would be huge here for Holloman. Ball in play likely scores a run. The 2-2. Fife hits a high fly ball to deep left center field. This is trouble. It's off the wall. Both runs are going to score. There might be a play at second. The throw from Micah Jordan is cut off. You knew Logan Fife was due. I'm surprised it took him this long with how good he's been against the Flyboys this year. A 2-run double to the wall in left center, and all of a sudden, it is 11-8. Fife now up to 36 RBIs on the season. He's got 3 tonight, and now you're starting to feel like maybe the momentum has really shifted. Because since the Flyboys took a 10-1 lead in the 4th, Johnson City has outscored them 7-1. Man at second for Nate Connor with one away in the 6th. Here's the pitch. Connor takes outside. And again, these teams really playing for the season series and for bragging rights, and that's about it. The season series tied at 3 games apiece. And the 1-0 to Connor. He hits a high pop-up to straightaway right. Reed Hare is camped under it, ranging toward the gap. He makes the catch. Fife will not tag up. A good throw from Hare keeps him at second. It's a big out because Connor tripled into the gap his last time. Man at second, 2 gone in the 6th. And the batter is Trey Majette, the cleanup man. 2 for 4 with a couple RBIs yesterday, but 0 for 3 so far tonight. 2 flyouts and a ground out. Greenville leading 11-8 in the 6th. And another high-scoring game between the Flyboys and the Doughboys. These teams will finish their 7-game regular season series, averaging nearly 20 runs per game combined. Majette, a switch hitter batting left. Holloman is set at the belt. Here's the pitch. Majette takes a fastball off the outside edge. That was on the chalk. Holloman up to 20 pitches in this inning. He's thrown 11 for strikes. A single, a walk, and then the 2-run double from Fife. A pause from Holloman, and the 1-0 to Majette. A swing and a line drive up the middle. This ball is down in center field for a base hit. Here comes Logan Fife. The throw to the plate is not in time. It's a 2-run game. Fife scores from second. Trey Majette with his 3rd RBI in the last 2 games against Greenville. It's 11-9 in the 6th. And here's Brandon Chang. Johnson City has scored 8 runs in the last 3 innings. Ever since that rain delay, they had absolutely nothing before the delay. Brandon Chang stepping in from the right side. Here's the pitch. Chang takes inside from Holloman. So the tying run is suddenly at the plate. And considering how the Flyboys controlled this game early on, that is a jarring realization. Majette at first base has good speed. 10 for 10 stealing bases this year. The 1-0 pitch. There he goes. It's fouled off. A line drive to the right side out of play. But Holloman has now given up 3 runs and recording just 2 outs in this game. So Holloman has given up 6 runs in 2 innings for the Flyboys. One and one on Chang. Majette started on that foul ball. A pickoff move to first, and he's in standing. This is definitely a situation much more precarious than it was before the rain delay. Flyboys need to save their pitching for the playoffs, though. Another pickoff move to first. Majette's in standing again. Because Greenville's going to need its A-listers against Kingsport tomorrow, that is for sure. The Axemen, the best offense in the league. And it's not even close. They're averaging over 8 runs a game. 1-1. High. Chang misses with the fastball. Or Holloman misses with the fastball, I should say. Chang watches it go by. It's 2-1 on Brandon Chang. Majette at first after the RBI single. 11-9 Flyboys here in the 6th. Holloman sets at the belt. Here's the 2-1. Chang pops it up on the infield to the right side. Ezra McNaughton, the first baseman, calls off Peyton Miller and makes the catch to end the inning. Johnson City scores 3 more times, and suddenly it's a 2-run game as we go to the 7th. 11-9 Flyboys lead on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. Top of the 7th here in Johnson City. The Flyboys clinging to an 11-9 lead. Right-hander Ryan Smith back on the mound, facing the top of the Flyboys order. Reed Hare takes a fastball outside from Smith. The Flyboys at one point led this game 10-1. That was just after the rain delay, after the top of the 4th. The 1-0 pitch to Reed Hare. Fastball misses up and away. Since then, Johnson City has outscored Greenville 8-1. The Doughboys added 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th. A 2-run double from Logan Fife and an RBI single from Trey Majette as the heart of the Doughboys order does what it does best. The offense has not been the problem for Johnson City this season. 2-0. Hare pops it foul out of play behind home plate. Johnson City in the top 4 teams in the league in runs per game. But these teams both very well versed in slugfests. 2-1 on Hare. Here's the pitch. Swinging a line drive. Look out on the mound. Ryan Smith has to duck out of the way of that one. Reed Hare with a leadoff single right back through the box to start the 7th. The second hit in as many at-bats for Reed Hare. Flyboys leading 11-9. Man at first for Peyton Miller here in the 7th after the leadoff knock. Miller 2 for 4 with the runs scored. But this is the second rain-affected game in Johnson City this season where the teams have combined to score at least 20 runs. The pitch to Miller. He squares to bunt, pops it back to the mound, and it's caught by Ryan Smith. Miller tried to get that high fastball. He couldn't get on top of it. So that's a break for Johnson City. Now man at first, 1 away in the 7th, and here's Ezra McNaughton. Flyboys lead 11-9. But back in late June, the Flyboys beat Johnson City 16-12 in a similar game to this one because it featured a rain delay that was nearly an hour long. The game start to finish took 5 hours. McNaughton stepping in, 3 RBIs tonight. Here's the pitch. He takes inside. McNaughton, a 2-run double in the 4th, a sacrifice fly in the 1st. He's also walked and scored a pair of runs tonight. Hare a short lead at first, the 1-0. McNaughton takes low and outside. Ezra McNaughton among the league leaders, hitting .338, an OPS of 1171, and he's only raised it with his performance this evening. 12 homers and 46 RBIs. The 2-0. McNaughton takes low and outside. That was a pretty good pitch by Ryan Smith, but it was off the plate and low. Not by much. McNaughton also second on the Flyboys this season with 16 stolen bases. And he's done all this as the Flyboys are playing their 45th game here tonight. Here's the 3-0. He swings and misses. That was a fastball at the bottom of the zone. Figured Ryan Smith wasn't going to pitch around him with Cameron Kim waiting on deck. Kim has a 2-run homer tonight. He's been just as dangerous as McNaughton in the middle of this Flyboys order. Still a hitter's count, though. Here's the 3-1. McNaughton hits a line drive to center. Nate Connor cannot get there. Reed Hare hustling into second will go no further. But Ezra McNaughton has continually swung the bat well throughout this season. Another multi-hit game for him. Even when teams try to pitch around him, they can't. That was a broken bat single that got over the infield on the fly. Jack Wilson talked about it earlier in the season about how strong Ezra McNaughton is, and he shows it right there. Flyboys leading 11-9, looking to add some more. First and second with 1 away in the 7th, and here's Cameron Kim, the cleanup hitter. The pitch. He takes a fastball for a strike from Ryan Smith. But Kim hit a monster 2-run homer in the 3rd. The second in as many innings for the Flyboys. See if he can add some more damage. The 0-1. Kim checks his swing on a breaking ball. Didn't look like he went around. The appeal to the field umpire, Trey Neville, agrees. And again, when the field umpire is behind the mound, he can't really see whether or not the batter went around on a check swing. So 1-1 on Kim. Infield shades the right-handed hitter to pull. And the pitch. Kim takes a slider at the knees for a strike. A good pitch there from Smith. Got Kim to bail on it early. He lifted his arms out of the way. But the Flyboys definitely need some insurance with the way Johnson City has swung the bats since the rain delay. Scoring 8 runs in that stretch. And time called at home plate before the 1-2. But it looked like the Doughboys really didn't have anything going before the rain delay, and then they came out of the clubhouse after waiting for nearly an hour, and they've made it count. Here's the 1-2. The runner goes from second. The pitch swung on and missed. No throw. Hare swipes third as Kim strikes out. Reed Hare steals his 10th base on as many attempts this season. But Ryan Smith gets Kim to go down swinging. His second strikeout. And that one on a good breaking ball. So men on the corners, 2 gone in the 7th. Greenville leading Johnson City 11-9. And here's the Flyboys' designated hitter, Danny Wallace. 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. And a ball has come out of the bullpen in right field. Nobody saw it. I think now somebody called time. I think Ryan Smith stepping off was the one who did it. But Wallace with a chance to do some damage here. He had a multi-hit game with 3 RBIs yesterday. The pitch. He takes outside. Fastball right on the black. And Ryan Jones wanted to know where that pitch missed, the Johnson City catcher. I think he has every argument that that pitch was probably a strike. See if Wallace can take advantage. Here's the 1-0. Up and in. Watch out. Had to lean out of the way of that one. It almost got him up high. Ryan Smith up to 91 with the fastball. Haven't seen that from any Johnson City pitcher besides him so far. Hitters count on Wallace. Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss. He went golfing at one. It's 2-1. But Danny Wallace now with 10 RBIs on the season in very limited action for the Flyboys. The 2-1 pitch. Wallace pops it foul behind the plate, and it's 2-2. That ball out of play. But with the way Johnson City has ratcheted up the bats with 8 runs in the last 3 innings, it feels like this game is not going to end 11-9. Here's the 2-2. The runner goes. The pitch, strike 3 at the top of the zone. That's a great pitch from Ryan Smith. He landed the slider in there. Wallace gave up on it. Stretch time here in Johnson City. Flyboys lead 11-9. They need another shutdown inning on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Bottom of the 7th inning here in Johnson City. The Flyboys leading the Doughboys 11-9, but Johnson City has scored 8 of the last 9 runs in this game. It'll be Camden Kaufman, Jackson Jones, and Ryan Jones here in the home half of inning number 7. Hunter Sloop is the new man on the mound for Greenville, and he delivers low and inside to Kaufman. Sloop, the right-hander who began his career at Tennessee, transferred to Charlotte with the Flyboys for the 2nd summer. Here's the 1-0. Kaufman gets hit on the arm, and that brings the tying run to the plate. So with the leadoff man aboard, Jackson Jones comes to the plate. He's got a double tonight. That was back in the 2nd inning. He's hitless since then. He grounded out last time. So if you're looking for a double play candidate, this might be your guy. Sloop on for the 5th time this season. 5 2/3 innings, 7 runs, 11 walks, 8 strikeouts. He's only given up 5 hits. The pitch to Jones. Fastball up and in again. Sloop. The velocity not where it used to be. He redshirted due to an injury this past season at Charlotte. Here's the 2-0, or excuse me, the 1-0 in on the hands. Now it's 2-0. But Sloop, in high school and beginning his college career, he was up in the mid-90s, 95, 96. But here, not sniffing 90 miles an hour. He's at about 87, 88. The 2-0. Jones pops it up on the infield, a chance for McNaughton in foul ground, and that's off the screen. Out there might be a chance for either McNaughton or the catcher, Nicky Satterley, to make that play, but that ball hit the screen. So it's 2-1. Flyboys looking to get out of the regular season finale and sweep Johnson City in this 2-game series. They would take the season series 4-3. But the postseason fates for everybody are sealed. Flyboys in Kingsport will meet in the West Championship game for the second consecutive season. This time, it'll be on the road in Kingsport. That's tomorrow night. And a pickoff move to first. They've got him hung up. He went on first movement. The throw from McNaughton to Miller at second base is in time to get Camden Kaufman. That's one thing Hunter Sloop has been very good at for the Flyboys. He picked off a couple of base runners against Elizabethton last week. Scored that 1-3-4 on the pickoff, which as a 6'7" right-hander, you don't think that Sloop would be very liable to pick guys off, but he gets it done. The 2-1. Jones takes downstairs. That was a really good pitch from Sloop. Looked like it was right at the knees, but I think home plate umpire Will Evans is flipping a coin and determining by that whether to call borderline pitches a ball or a strike. 3-1. Ball four. That was not borderline. So once again, the tying run to the plate, this time with 1 out in the 7th. Johnson City trails the Flyboys 11-9. And here's the catcher, Ryan Jones. He's having a good night at the plate. Got the evening off yesterday, but he is 2 for 2 with a couple RBIs. All of those coming in the last 4 innings. Sloop looking for a potential inning-ending double play. Here's the pitch. Ryan Jones fouls it back. This happened earlier in the season when the Flyboys visited Johnson City. The 2 Joneses hitting back-to-back at the bottom of the order in spots 7 and 8, respectively. See if Sloop can keep up with the Joneses here. Ryan is hitting .247, 15 RBIs on the season. That's another thing. The 2 Joneses nearly matching each other in offensive output. The 0-1 from Sloop. Fastball misses at the shoulders. Ryan's batting average a few points higher, ticking closer to .250 with his 2-hit performance in this game. Infield shades the right-handed hitter to pull. Patton guarding the line at third. And a pickoff move to first. Diving in safely is Jackson Jones. He's only stolen 2 bases this season. As a first baseman, he doesn't run all that much. Johnson City is very efficient stealing bases. The Doughboys have been thrown out just 5 times this year. The 1-1. Fastball misses high. 2-1 on Ryan Jones. Johnson City, 63 of 68 stealing bases. That's a 93% clip, which is the most efficient in the league, but only 7th by volume. And the 2-1. Jones fouls it over the first base side, and it's 2-2. Landon Smeltzer, the left fielder, is on deck. He's in the number 9 spot. Smeltzer has walked all 3 times tonight. Flyboys have struggled with walks much more than they did yesterday. Now that the rain has subsided, I don't know that there's any real justification for it. Sloop looking to retire Ryan Jones. Here's the 2-2. Jones strikes out swinging, late on a fastball. Not bad for a bum. Man at first, 1 away in the bottom of the 7th, or excuse me, 2 away after the caught stealing and the strikeout. And here's Landon Smeltzer. Flyboys leading 11-9. Johnson City down to its final 7 outs. Mentioned Smeltzer, he's walked all 3 times, scored a couple of runs. Flyboys looking to shut down the Doughboys. They need another scoreless frame. The pitch to Smeltzer. A fastball outside. That was on the chalk. But Johnson City playing for pride at this point. The Doughboys were eliminated from playoff contention nearly a week ago by Elizabethton. And the 1-0 pitch. Smeltzer takes high, ball 2. And if you're Hunter Sloop, the main thing you're concerned with here is just attacking the strike zone, because the upper part of the Doughboys order has been very dangerous here tonight. Fife, Morrow, and Connor all have base hits. The 2-0 to Smeltzer, fouled back, went after a high fastball. A needed strike there for Sloop. Looks like a right-hander is getting loose in the Greenville bullpen. I can't see anybody in the Johnson City bullpen. Doesn't mean they don't have somebody ready to go. But a lot of players dressed as bleachers down there in the left field corner. Sloop is set. Here's the 2-1. Smeltzer takes an outside strike. That fastball was off the plate at the belt, and Smeltzer asked for time. And again, it really feels like on these borderline pitches, it's a coin flip, because we've seen pitches closer to the zone get called strikes. See if Smeltzer can shake it off on 2-2. I'm sure he thinks the count should be 3-1, and honestly, I agree with him. That pitch wasn't even in the shadow zone. It was that far off the plate. Here's the 2-2. Smeltzer takes strike 3. That was a fastball right down the middle. You can't argue about that. So Hunter Sloop does a good job, strikes out back-to-back hitters to strand a man at first. And as we go to the 8th, Greenville 11, Johnson City 9 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Top of the 8th inning here in Johnson City, where the Flyboys lead the Doughboys 11-9. Greenville looking to sweep this 2-game set and close the regular season on a high note. It'll be Jace Patton, Micah Jordan, and Grant Hunter to face the right-hander Ryan Smith. Smith got the final out of the 6th and then stranded a pair of base runners in the 7th, striking out Cameron Kim and Danny Wallace. Jace Patton takes a strike at the belt. It's 0-1. Patton hitless in 4 plate appearances in this game, I should say, though he has walked twice and scored a run. The 0-1 from Smith, way outside, gets to the backstop. Johnson City again has scored 8 of the game's last 9 runs. It feels like the Flyboys are going to need some insurance here in one of their last 2 trips to the plate as a team. See if Patton can provide a spark. The right-hander Smith sets. Here's the pitch. Patton fouls it off at home plate. It's 1-2. Greenville will have to make its rest count, going home much later than I'm sure they were expecting were the Flyboys. This game began nearly 4 hours ago, but we had a rain delay that lasted about 45 minutes. 1-2 to Patton is strike 3 at the knees. He punches out. That's the 3rd consecutive strikeout for Ryan Smith on the mound. And that pitch was a breaking ball that found the zone. Flyboys offense has gone cold. They scored in each of the first 5 innings, and they've been held scoreless in the last 2 1/3. Entirely Ryan Smith's doing on the hill. Another baseball comes out of a bullpen. This time it's the Flyboys losing 1. Micah Jordan steps in, a right-handed batter, a 2-run homer back in the 2nd. That was about 4 hours ago. Here's the pitch. Jordan hits it. That looked like it hit him in the box, but I don't think so. An awkward swing, he got jammed. That ball goes towards second base, and Logan Fife fields it to throw out Jordan. Jordan spun around in the box after that swing. He really got tied up. And now the Flyboys will go to a pinch hitter as Tyler Inge comes to the plate. So I'd imagine we'll see some defensive shuffling here. Inge takes the place of Grant Hunter. Hunter is the Flyboys left fielder. Tyler Inge has played every single game this season entirely on the infield or as a DH. So Inge pinch hits for Hunter. Bases empty, 2 gone in the 8th. Greenville looking to add some insurance, leading 11-9. But Ryan Smith has held the Flyboys scoreless since the 6th. Inge entering this game, hitting .248 on the season. His first home run was here in Johnson City. That was 6 days ago against Bristol. 26 RBIs for Inge. Also 3rd on the team with 15 stolen bases. Looking to spark a 2-out rally here, perhaps. Right-hander Smith with 4 strikeouts in 2 innings. Inge takes a breaking ball for a strike. And Smith has been attacking the zone very efficiently. 28 pitches, 19 strikes for him. He's been really impressive so far for Johnson City, keeping the Doughboys in this game. The 0-1. Inge takes another breaking ball for a strike. He didn't like that call. That's that slider that sweeps across the plate from Smith. Looking for his 5th strikeout and 2 1/3. 2 quick strikes on the pinch hitter, Tyler Inge. And now the 0-2. Inge takes inside, brushed off the plate by a fastball. Infield shades Tyler Inge slightly to his pull side, but not much. Outfield playing straight up. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Inge takes strike 3. He watched all 3 breaking balls there. Now it's starting to feel like the momentum has really shifted in this game. The Flyboys have gone completely cold at the plate. On to the bottom of the 8th, 11-9 Greenville leads. They'll need some more good pitching down the stretch in this one on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Bottom of the 8th inning here in Johnson City, where the Flyboys currently lead the Doughboys. 11-9 our score. Christian Bonilla, the new right-hander on the mound for Greenville. He'll face the top of this dangerous Doughboys order. Dane Morrow, a lefty, steps in. Here's the pitch. Right-hander Bonilla misses inside. Tyler Inge will play left field. He pinch hit for Grant Hunter in the top of this 8th inning. And he will man the corner outfield spot. The 1-0. Morrow lines it into the screen. Foul. It's 1-1. Bonilla on for the 12th time this season for the Flyboys. An ERA of 7.5 in 18 innings. A lot of base runners. A whip of 2.1. 1-1 pitch. Morrow hits a line drive to center. Micah Jordan coming on, has to play it on a bounce. And the tying run comes to the plate once again for Johnson City. Leadoff man aboard at first for Logan Fife, who played a big part in bringing Johnson City closer. He doubled home 2 his last time up. That was in the 6th. Since the Flyboys took a 10-1 lead before the rain delay, Johnson City has outscored Greenville 8-1, holding the Flyboys scoreless for the last 3 innings, after Greenville had scored in each of the first 5 consecutive frames. Fife stepping in, a right-handed batter. The Flyboys' Achilles heel this season. The pitch. Breaking ball hit in the air to deep left field. Tyler Inge going back, still going back, and that ball is off the wall. Nearly a game-tying homer. Instead, Fife will have to settle for his 2nd double in as many innings. That looked like it had game-tying home run written all over it, but the trouble is still just as palpable. Men on 2nd and 3rd with nobody out in a 2-run game. Now here comes Nate Connor. 4 hits in 2 games against the Flyboys this week. He had a 2-run triple back in the 4th, did Nate Connor. And again, the Flyboys can't use any of their A-list arms because they've got a playoff game that will probably be over at this time tomorrow against Kingsport. Johnson City looking to go home with something to close the season. Right on left, Bonilla deals. Connor takes high. Connor at the plate representing the go-ahead run. Has a homer this season, 23 RBIs, including the 2 he picked up on that triple in the 4th inning. The 1-0. Connor takes in the dirt. Here comes Dane Morrow. It gets past Satterley, and Morrow scores. And it's 11-10. With the tying run now moving to 3rd base on a wild pitch. The Flyboys led this game 10-1. It is now 11-10. Infield in for the Flyboys. Nate Connor steps back in. It's a 2-0 count. 11-10 with nobody away in this 8th inning. Here's the pitch. Chopped foul to the right side. But now a man at 3rd, nobody out, the heart of the order up. This is about as high as the run expectancy gets for Johnson City at the plate. Infield in, Fife at 3rd. He moves up as Morrow scores on the wild pitch. And the 2-1. fouled off to the left side. It's 2-2. But now if you're Bonilla, you're talking about a situation where you're going to need at least 2 strikeouts, most likely. Or a pop out on the infield, a fly out to the shallow outfield. You're going to need something in your favor, the 2-2. Connor strikes out swinging. That's a good start. Bonilla got him on a breaking ball. That's out number 1. 1 run home on the wild pitch. Fife at third base. 1 away in the bottom of the 8th. Greenville leading 11-10 after once leading this game 10-1. Here's Trey Majette, switch hitter batting left. Had an RBI single back in the 6th. Infield still in. The pitch. Downstairs. Bonilla missed with the fastball. It's 1-0. But Majette, 3 RBIs in 2 games against the Flyboys to close this season, and he's looking to add some more in what might be his final at-bat of the campaign. The 1-0. Majette hits a ground ball up the middle, and this game is tied. A base hit to center for Trey Majette. Second RBI single of the night. And it's 11-11. The Flyboys led this game 10-1, and we are tied at 11. Unbelievable. Go ahead run at first for Brandon Chang. 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored tonight. The top of the Johnson City order proving to be just as dangerous as advertised. And again, this is the 7th meeting between these teams. It's not a shock to anybody. Right on right, the pitch to Chang. Inside and low from Bonilla. Trey Majette at first base has really good speed as well. He tried to steal back in the 6th, but the pitch was fouled off. He's 10 for 10 swiping bags, though. This is a situation where you might send him. Bonilla knows that. A pickoff to first, but he's in standing, is Majette. Brandon Chang among the team leaders for Johnson City with 25 RBIs this season. Chang tied for 3rd, actually now in 4th, as Majette just broke the tie. 1-0. Chang swings and misses on an inside fastball. But Logan Fife has been the Flyboys' toughest out this season. Fife hitting .500 against Greenville pitching. 1-1 to Chang. Fastball misses outside. Bonilla up to 14 pitches in this inning. He's gotten just 1 out. Felt like the Flyboys needed insurance and they couldn't get it. And you credit Johnson City reliever Ryan Smith holding Greenville scoreless for 2 1/3. Pickoff throw to first. Majette dives in safely. This game tied at 11, but the potential go-ahead run is at first. The Flyboys will have 9-1-2 due up in the 9th. You want to avoid a tiebreaker as the visiting team. It generally does not go in your favor. 2-1. Chang swings and misses at a low fastball. It's 2-2. But with only 1 away in the inning, Bonilla hunting that inning-ending double play, working everything on the inside part of the plate around the knees to the right-handed hitter. Infield shades him to pull. Strikeout would be nice as well. Here's the 2-2. Chang hits a roller to short, chance for 2. Kim to second for 1, Miller to first. There it is. A 6-4-3 inning-ending double play, but the damage is done. Johnson City ties the game on an RBI single from Trey Majette. And we'll go to the 9th, tied at 11 on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Top of the 9th here in Johnson City. The Flyboys and the Doughboys tied at 11. Johnson City reliever Ryan Smith has held the Flyboys scoreless since the 6th inning, and he is still out there. He'll face 9-1-2 in the Greenville order, beginning with Nicky Satterley, the catcher. Here's the pitch. Satterley chops it to the left side. Camden Kaufman up with it from third base, and a running throw is in time to get Satterley. Ryan Smith, the right-hander on the mound for the Doughboys, has retired the last 6 batters in a row. That is the longest streak for any Johnson City pitcher. Not just tonight, but in this series over the last 2 days. That's how good the Flyboys have been at tacking on runs. Ryan Smith, who had a 5.3 ERA in 22 innings entering this outing has completely shut Greenville down. Reed Hare steps in from the left side. Here's the pitch. Hare fouls it off at home plate. The Flyboys did threaten against Smith with the top of the order in the 7th inning. Hare singled, as did Ezra McNaughton. But the Flyboys stranded both of them as Smith struck out Cameron Kim and Danny Wallace back-to-back. 0-1 on Hare after the foul ball. Here's the pitch. Hare fouls it back again. It's 0-2. The right-hander Smith up to 34 pitches in 2 2/3. He's thrown 24 of those for strikes. He's been around the zone since he entered the game. And so far, the Flyboys just haven't been able to make enough solid contact against him to really threaten. Now you're hoping that either Hare or Peyton Miller, the man on deck, can reach. Because then you'd give Ezra McNaughton a chance. And McNaughton has a pair of hits and 3 RBIs in this game. Peyton Miller also has a couple hits, but none since before the rain delay. The 0-2 to Hare. A check swing. Oh, the home plate umpire, Will Evans, just run him up. It did not look like Reed Hare went around. It was an inside breaking ball, and I did not think that Hare went around. Hare didn't either. He turned his head. You could read his lips saying no. He was shaking his head. I didn't think that was a swing, but Will Evans thought otherwise. Ryan Smith has retired 7 Flyboys batters in a row. Greenville once led this game 10-1. It's 11-11 with 2 gone in the 9th. And here's Peyton Miller. The pitch. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Started at the front hip of the right-handed batter. Came across the plate. It's 0-1. A lot of room on the right side of the infield here. 0-1 on Miller. The pitch. Breaking ball misses up and in. Miller had a couple singles in the first 4 innings. Then the rain delay hit, lasting nearly an hour. Miller since then has struck out and popped out a bunt back to the mound. 1-1. Miller hits a soft liner to second. Fife waits on it. Fields on an easy hop. Throw to first ends the inning. Back-to-back 1-2-3 frames from Ryan Smith. Johnson City has a chance to walk it off. In the bottom of the 9th, we're tied at 11, and the Doughboys will have Kaufman, Jones, and Jones due up on the Flyboys Baseball Network. Last chance in regulation for Johnson City. We are tied at 11 in the bottom of the 9th. Since the rain delay, Johnson City, beginning in the bottom of the 4th, has outscored the Flyboys 10-1. If Johnson City is able to rally in the 9th and win this game, you give a huge tip of the cap to the right-hander Ryan Smith. He came on and held the Flyboys scoreless for the final 4 innings, giving up just 2 hits and striking out 6. He kept the Flyboys from adding insurance and pulling away to put this game out of reach. Camden Kaufman, Jackson Jones, and Ryan Jones will face the right-hander Christian Bonilla. 2 runs in the 8th tied it for Johnson City. A wild pitch and an RBI single from Trey Majette. Kaufman takes a strike from Bonilla. It's 0-1. Camden Kaufman homered back in the 2nd. That was about 4 hours ago to put Johnson City on the board. The 0-1. Kaufman hits a line drive to left. This ball is fair, heading toward the corner. And Johnson City is going to have the tying run in scoring position. Kaufman is thinking about a triple, but he takes a big turnaround second and stops there. The Doughboys have the winning run at second with nobody out. Kaufman got his hands in on an inside fastball and kept it fair by about an inch. No argument from the Flyboys. And now to the plate comes Jackson Jones. He's got a double tonight. Also a walk for him. This is his 5th trip to the plate. Johnson City out hitting the Flyboys 12-11. Winning run at second. Nobody out in the bottom of the 9th. The Flyboys looking to avoid being walked off for the 2nd time in 5 days. Corner infielders are in. This is a sacrifice situation. Jones swings away. He watches strike 1. Did not square around on that pitch, which I'm kind of surprised by. Jackson Jones hitting under 240 on the season. You think this is absolutely a situation where you want to get the bunt down and move the winning run to 3rd with 1 away. Not squaring again. He swings and misses at a breaking ball. It's 0-2. And now the sacrifice is off the table. Jones asks for time. Jackson Jones, 16 RBIs on the season. The OPS right around league average, 740. These teams averaging 20 runs per game when they meet. 22 combined runs so far. Number 23 would win it for Johnson City. The 0-2 from Bonilla, an inside move to second and a close play, but Kaufman dives back in. The fans wanted a balk. Looked like Bonilla landed with his front leg before he turned. I think that's where the argument is. But it's 0-2 on Jackson Jones, right-handed batter out of Tennessee. And the pitch. Jones takes outside. That pitch was closer than some that have been called strikes tonight. But it's 1-2. So 1-2 on Jones, looking for his first hit since the second inning. A ball in play likely moves the runner. Here it comes. A ground ball to the right side. That's a base hit. This could end it. Kaufman coming around third. Here's the throw to the plate. It's late, and Johnson City wins. And that's how the regular season comes to an end. Johnson City wins the final 12-11 on the final day of the regular season. Now, the Flyboys will get the last laugh because they're off to the playoffs tomorrow, but this loss is one that stings nonetheless. In a game that took 4 hours and 9 minutes, the Flyboys led 10-1 after the top of the fourth. Johnson City, a leadoff double from Camden Kaufman, and then a walk-off RBI single from Jackson Jones to end it. You tip your cap to Ryan Smith, the Doughboys reliever. He held the Flyboys scoreless over the final 3 innings. Or the final 4 innings, excuse me. He got the final out of the 6th and then worked 3 full scoreless innings in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, striking out 6 batters and giving up just 2 hits while doing so. That prevented the Flyboys from adding any insurance. Johnson City rallied, scoring 5 in the 4th, 3 in the 6th inning, 2 in the 8th. Trey Majet's RBI single tied it. Jackson Jones, a walk-off single to right field to win this game 12-11. The Flyboys end the regular season 25-20, playing 45 of their 48 scheduled games. And they cannot let this loss affect them in any way because they've got to face the league's best all-around team, the Kingsport Axemen, in the Appy League West Division Championship game tomorrow at 7 p.m. There was flooding in Kingsport today. I don't know if that's going to impact where the game is played. As of now, the game should still be played at Hunter Wright Stadium in Kingsport, but we will have to wait and see. Hopefully everything is okay in Kingsport. But your final here from Johnson City on the final day of the regular season. Doughboys 11, or excuse me, we'll start over. Your final here in Johnson City. The Flyboys fall to the Doughboys 12-11 on a walk-off single from Jackson Jones. That'll do it for the regular season here on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. The Flyboys 25-20. Johnson City finishes 2 games under 500 at 22-24 with their walk-off win here tonight. Flyboys will take on Kingsport, the Axemen 31-15 on the season. Greenville's going to need their best. They'll have the A-list arms going. Jack Wilson will put together a very tough lineup, I am sure, but the Axemen, one of the best teams all around in the Appy League in any season, certainly in this campaign as well. Thanks so much for tuning into the final regular season game here on the Greenville Flyboys Baseball Network. The Flyboys led this game 10-1 after 3.5, but they fall in walk-off fashion, losing to Johnson City 12-11 here tonight. We'll talk to you in the Appy League West championship game with a spot in the league championship on the line against the Kingsport Axemen tomorrow night at 7 right here on the Flyboys Baseball Network.